It's Friday, May 6th, 2022. It's a little later than usual. It's a little after 10 o'clock at night. And we just finished doing our double feature discussion of Den Excelsior, talking about the finale of Moon Knight and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And now here we are on the Soapbox, our Patreon early access exclusive show where we can talk to people about whatever. We don't really limit it to just talking about the movies and stuff that we watched from Marvel this week. We talk about whatever. If it's like Star Wars, if it's something funny we saw on TV that's not Marvel, if it's whatever pissed us off at work, anything like that. So if you're catching this, like when it's not live, check us out sometime. It's pretty fun. And yeah, we put these out for free probably a few days after they air live. So basically, Patreon people get to just come and chat with us and about whatever, like we try to make time for that in the regular show too, but sometimes we got a lot of stuff on the schedule, so we can't take too much time to talk about whatever we want with people. So this is a really cool time and place to do that. But yeah, I'm pretty tired from reliving all of the things about Doctor Strange that I didn't like. There were things I did like, and so it's hard to laser focus so much on all the specific things that upset me. But I just want to make sure that I get as many of them out there for people who are interested. So if they're making a decision based on what we have to say about the show or the movie or whatever. So yeah, it feels weird to be negative like that much sometimes. Like I know, like there's a part of me that it comes naturally, but like I don't like to pour salt so much on the things that people like, because it's I remember what that felt like when I was a teenager reading comic books and other people didn't understand why I like that. So I guess that's just the mature me is less comfortable completely shitting on things that have entertainment value to other people. Unless it's like the Fast and the Furious. In that case, man, I've watched all of them and I just don't get it. I don't understand what the deal is with those. But it's cool. Whatever. Everybody's got their little kinks, I guess, is what it is. But yeah, I'm trying to think what did I geek out on this week that I would want to talk about with Travis and Ricky when they finally get here. I'm hoping that we can talk a little bit about Atlanta. I'm hoping we could talk about Outer Range, and I'm hoping we could talk about Ozark. Those are the things that I've really enjoyed this week. I'm sure there's other stuff. Trying to think about what else. Just for anybody who's tuning in, who's actually interested in watching the things I watch to talk about them. Definitely those. I still am mildly addicted to Superman and Lois. It's a good show, good acting. Sometimes the plot lines get a little campy and cheesy or whatever you want to call it, but there's some really good heart that's in that show. So I watch that one whenever I get a chance. Outside of that, not sure what else. If people are checking out my room and being like, what's going on in there? I can give a little room tour. I have a couple of Hasbro Marvel Legends Sentinels behind me. I have a glass case from IKEA over on one side filled with lots of my Marvel Legends. And then on the other shelf, I got, on the other shelves on the side, the lights are off on them. I'll turn them back on. But I got a bunch of random toys from different other collections and series. And I'm definitely considering redecorating that area. But yeah, there you go. I got some Spider-Man statues. I got some Marvel Select figures. I got some amazing Yamaguchi Revoltech figures of various characters like the Avengers, and I got some Spider-Man stuff. I got a little shrine to them. But yeah, I'm definitely thinking about reorganizing. And then and as part of the reorganization right here on my right, I've got a little fold-out table that I pulled out to currently hold all of my Thor figures. I was giving a room tour for anybody who may be watching.
I don't know how you jump right into it, man. I need like a 5-minute breather sometimes.
You know what's really funny is I was worried that I couldn't do it because like I went to the doctor earlier today just to get like I had like just a fun little laundry list of checkup things to do.
Yeah.
And I actually hadn't seen her in like a year or over a year. And she always gets me. She always surprises me at the end. She's like, I haven't done blood work with you in a while. Let's do blood work. And I'm like, oh shit. And so I kind of predicted it might happen today. So I drank some water before we left. And then as soon as she told me blood work, I just started chugging water, just chugging it because like it helps the blood come out easier. And so I went, did the thing, was done. And 15 minutes later, came home. I swear to God, I've been peeing every 20 minutes since then. Until right like 20 minutes before the show started, or the first show started, I felt like I got my last one out of me, and now I'm dry as a bone. I don't know. Like
you're tapped
like,
out.
Yeah, and it's really weird. I can go a long time on a Friday night with you guys before I ever have to do anything like that. And I think I don't know, for some reason I like chilling here for a few minutes and just letting people know what the previous show was, what in case they want to tune into that, and letting them know the kind of things that I'd be down to discuss today. But I got all of that out of the way, and then I'm just like, and for anybody who wants to know about the stuff behind me in my room. And so I just started explaining what those are. I don't know if you saw, but I have a few friends here on the side.
I can't see them.
I'll get it.
Oh wait, is that the new is from the movie?
Yeah.
That's your Thor. Wow, this came quick.
They came real quick, huh? Yeah, she's so buff. I haven't taken pictures of her yet, but her arms are huge. Look, even in the package, you can see so much arm. Yeah, she's really cool. But yeah, I got the whole set already. I actually cheated on Hasbro Pulse because like they didn't bother to do pre-orders for them. They just said, "Hey, by the way, everything goes up.
We gotta get this out of here
on the 27th." So I was like, "Well, if you're not gonna do pre-orders, I'm not gonna wait months for my stuff to arrive." So I just ordered it on Amazon. I just ordered them all on Amazon. So
I still do not have a Black Spider-Man.
You can call them. They have a phone number you can call.
No,
you can.
I don't want to bother them.
Have you ever checked the order status?
Yeah, it's
It says unfulfilled.
Yeah, estimated arrival May 2022.
Yeah, you should definitely bug them and see what's up with that, because that's weird. That's weird. But yeah, I haven't taken pictures of them, but I did clean off this table. It's pretty much the only things on this table are a couple boxes, and I put all those toys there just to decorate for the show. But yeah, I'm almost done cleaning the whole area so I can get to my back to my other creative pursuits.
That trailer looked really good in the theater. The Thor trailer.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. That was my first time watching the Avatar trailer too.
That was it debuted there. It didn't come out anywhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was cool. I meant to talk to Travis about that. We should save that for when he gets back on here.
I don't want to bring it up if he can or can't talk about that.
Well, he doesn't work there anymore, so yeah.
But what was I gonna say? My theater, surprisingly, it wasn't full until the 5 minutes into it. Everybody showed up.
My theater was not full, and I loved it for that. Yeah, it was not full. There was a downside to that, though. I was probably the loudest person when weird things happen, and I wasn't that. And I wasn't really that loud. I wasn't. I was just like, when Krasinski showed up, I was like,
people lost their shit.
Yeah, I didn't do it because I was like, I don't know why I didn't do it for me, but I didn't feel happy about that.
Whose stock went up out of the Illuminati for you the most? If you had to pick one of them
Black Panther for not being there,
for contractual reasons.
and Namor for not being there. I just felt like it was
You could have had
it
a
was
Killmonger on there, right? That could have served your Black Panther card.
Iron Man for not being there.
You got the Ultron bots.
Yeah, but you could definitely make the argument that Reed made those.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like that was the other thing, and I meant to actually complain to you guys about that, but I felt like that was just a bridge too many, or a bridge too far. And by the way, apologies for anybody who didn't know that we were going to keep spoiling the things that we saw in Doctor Strange and Moon Knight. But I do put that kind of in the description of the show usually.
Well,
the thing that bothered me was I thought they did a very cool visual, like they had a visual theme going on with when they first arrived on that universe.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of flowers, lots of cool tech, lots of it felt almost kind of like Wakanda, but like in America. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like they had found a way to do a very environmentally friendly, forward-thinking technology. And as soon as Christine mentioned the Baxter building or the Baxter Corporation, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. This is a world that's been influenced by Reed Richards. And so I understood that that's what was going to happen. Like, so I got the cue.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of liked what they were going with, like showing us this like nicer looking universe, you know, they just looked a little sci-fi, right? And then cut to Wanda's house, and it just looks like a plain old house.
Just
you know what I mean?
Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, and Bambi and shit like that. And I think it was really it lost a visual consistency for me, and that's why I was saying it kind of felt like we visited 2.5 universes, because like I felt like that house was a separate universe. It did not feel like the same universe, or even you know, when they're trying to escape from her later and they're in the tunnels underground, like everything about that world was cool looking except Wanda's house. And I understood that Wanda's house like felt the most like a setting that Sam Raimi would have fun with.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, did he really did. He played with that house hard with the cameras and everything.
Yeah.
But it just didn't feel connected to the rest of the universe that we saw there. And that kind of bothered me, you know what I mean? Like, because it just lost the visual consistency.
Well, like, yeah, you had to have the WandaVision house in it, right? But
yeah,
it's not the same as the Illuminati perfection that we see.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I would have just preferred if maybe like the appliances in the house looked futuristic or something like that. You know, like you can still make your home look homey. That's fine. You know, like that's the desire of every homemaker. But like nothing in that house looked like fake. And that, I think, you know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
there wasn't a sheen to it.
There wasn't a sheen that matched the visual style of the rest of the world that we saw. And to be fair, like the Illuminati's like throne room was pretty damn boring looking too, but whatever. It's, you know. But yeah, I felt like Ryan Meinerding was kind of like phone it in on there or something like that.
But I don't think that was him.
Nah,
I'm pretty sure he's like.
Well, it all actually is him because he's the head. He's the head of the visual department.
Like, it's almost like they filmed that first, right? And it's like
they don't film any of it without him designing it, though.
I know, but like you already have. He's not designing that house. The house is already. It's already designed.
His team is designing it.
Yeah,
that wasn't the same WandaVision house.
It was. No, it was 100% the same house. Yeah.
No.
Yes. Even with the staircase, yeah.
No, I mean it had a staircase, but
it's the same house
from the last episode.
Yeah, very last episode? It's a constructed house. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, he's you know he's he designed that house too.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Like,
saying. Like he already designed the house once. Why? And if it's the same house,
yeah,
you got the house design.
yeah, I just feel like there was a gap missing
Mhm.
there to really tie in, like showing that Wanda come to the Illuminati's building, or something like that. Like it just maybe if she would have taken an Uber or something, like I don't know.
Well, she's only
Like,
what is it? Westville's in New Jersey or New York, right?
well, they're not in Westview anymore. She's not. I assume she's not in Westview anymore.
I assume that was if it's the same house, it was in whatever
Well,
Illuminati Westview.
there's no Vision. Like
No, it's all
I
dumb. Like it's
I don't assume anything's the same, and in fact it's not.
like it was odd that like why. So she's searching realities for ones with her kids. Like, why not search for one with you, your kids, and Vision?
Mm.
Like, if you're gonna go through all of this, like, you could pick like the best universe to get.
For sure, yeah. There was a lot of weird things going on, but I did think, like a lot of the Illuminati scene made me groan. It really did. I felt, I felt sad that it made me groan so much, um, because I did feel like definitely they were referencing all these little things that Kevin Feige has had his hands in over the years. Like they got Patrick Stewart as Professor X, and they got Anson Mount to reprise his role as Blackagar Boltagon, which was
That's
so
cool.
ridiculous, so dumb.
I liked his little death and his "I'm sorry."
I liked his death.
Mhm.
Everything else was just like, ugh, I can't believe this is so silly that we're trying to like somehow make a slight apology for that show.
They name dropped the Terrigen Mist, right? That was kind of
Did they? I don't remember.
he's like they say his name and then it's like keeper of the leader of the Inhumans, keeper of the Terrigen Mist or whatever.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. And then I thought it was funny that we did a little character swap on Captain Marvel
Mhm.
and got Maria Rambeau instead of Carol Danvers. I think we had speculated that was either Blue Marvel
Tom Cruise.
or Tom Cruise's Iron Man, but the last time you showed me a picture, I was like, I'm pretty sure that's a black character. So I kind of felt interested, like I thought it was interesting because as much as they called her Captain Marvel,
Mhm.
stylistically they were definitely giving her a Blue Marvel look. Like she looked a lot bluer than
Mhm.
I think it might have been the lighting of the place, but I couldn't tell. But like it was interesting, but like I didn't really care that she was Captain Marvel. So like if that was a do-over on Captain Marvel,
It just seemed
that was
like
a miss.
up to this point we know Captain Marvel is the most powerful person,
Sure.
right? So you needed her to defeat the most powerful person to set Wanda's
Well,
bar.
I mean, I think technically we've all known that up to this point, Doctor Strange is the most
Mhm.
powerful person, unless we consider Wanda to be.
I it just kind of bothered me like we're so used to seeing Strange make the difficult choice, the abrasive choice to for the better good or right, and just to see him go limb over limb to save America, who we weren't really invested in.
That's not a reason not to save her. Like I think that's why you had that scene in
Mhm.
the at the wedding with Michael Stuhlbarg or
Yeah.
Stuhlbarg. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but where he's like asking him, so like the way that whole Infinity War played out.
Mhm.
Is that really that was the best way to do it? And he's like, yes, that was the best way to do it. Like I like
But
he's
they told you that it's not though, right? Like that's what that was the whole point. I mean, granted the Illuminati Strange, what's it called? Something hopping, or aside from Illuminati Strange using the Darkhold, they beat Thanos by getting the Book of Ashanti.
sure.
Mhm.
And then everybody got murdered by Wanda.
Yeah,
It's not necessarily that that's a better universe. You know what I mean? And
but
like
in there,
also,
again, doesn't make any goddamn sense. Like in their universe, would Vision had died or have died? And if there's a
I
Vision, like
I don't know. I think
it's all
it's
muddy.
like What If
Yeah.
and the Loki show. Like you just got to accept that they're all variants of things, and
Hmm.
you're like whatever. But like the one that I thought was the most interesting and off putting was Sharon, or not Sharon, Peggy.
Hmm.
Peggy Carter. Like I know that Michael Waldron, who was the writer of this movie, was the showrunner for Loki, and I thought it was interesting. Right, he was the showrunner for Loki, correct?
Yeah.
I believe, yeah. I knew in an interview that he had said that he would be referencing something special from the What If show, and the trailers, damn it, made me believe it was going to be the zombies.
Oh yeah, you were pretty content that was the same Zombie Strange like 2
I
weeks ago.
wanted I wanted a zombie Strange, and I thought we were going to get a zombie Wanda, and instead what we got was Captain Carter and a Wanda who filmed a bunch of scenes doing a zombie walk just so that they could misdirect fans. Like she's covered in blood and she's limping and dragging her leg like a fucking zombie
Like,
just so they could.
can't you fly? Like,
I
the
know,
fuck?
right? That was so dumb. They did it specifically for the misdirect to make you think it's a zombie. You know what I mean? Um, but then there's Captain Carter. And as much as I was really happy to see Captain Carter, I knew that none of it was going to matter. And I knew that it felt wrong because I felt like the Illuminati is the exact thing that Steve or Peggy would never be on board for. Like it just felt, it didn't feel right. Like, and that's why
I think
Steven,
a Thanos incident would change his like
well, it
once that
didn't,
happens, it's
it,
like, oh fuck, we need to make some tough decisions here, you know?
but that didn't happen in the other universe.
We don't really know. Like we haven't seen like really post like
We
Steve
we
just
know we know Doctor Strange is not in the Illuminati.
we see Steve just dip. Like
We know Doctor Strange is not in the Illuminati.
yeah. Until we don't, like, right? Like that's something they can pull out of their
No,
ass. Like
he definitely like was confused by the name. He was like, the Illuma what? I think we do know. Um, but in any case, like I just felt weird about Captain Carter, and when she met her end, I thought like, boy, you're dumb. What made you think that you had any chance against Wanda after all of them lost to Wanda?
well,
And so
again,
it
it's
was,
like Steve going towards Thanos, like
yeah, no, it took me a day to get there. But yesterday I was like, boy, you're dumb. But then today I was like, yeah, I guess Steve would have done that too.
like
It's dumb, but he would have done it. He would have done it. So I was okay with it in hindsight. It just in the moment, I'm like, bitch, you're crazy right now.
I
What do you
really did
think?
like her line when she asked Reed about Sue. It's like, oh, it's pretty like a brutal thing to say to somebody.
What did she
When
say?
she's
I don't know.
like, "Do you have children?" He's like, "Yes." "Is their mother still alive?" He's yes. Good, then they'll have someone to raise them. It's like,
Oh, you mean sorry, I thought you meant when Peggy asked or
oh
said
no,
something.
no, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Wanda said it, yeah, that was pretty effed up. Um, I thought there was some funny meta-ness going on to that whole Illuminati thing because one, uh, John Krasinski is rumored. The rumor was like Emily Blunt would be playing Sue, right, his
Yeah.
wife. But what I thought was really funny is that um, Peggy Carter is there in the room with him, and Peggy Carter was originally supposed to be played by Emily Blunt. Uh, like I don't
Well,
know, did you
he was
know
gonna
that?
play Cap though too.
He auditioned for Cap, but
Yeah.
they actually Marvel originally when they were doing Iron Man 2, they asked Emily Blunt to play Black Widow.
Yeah.
They reached out to her, and for scheduling reasons she couldn't do it. And then so when uh the role of Peggy Carter came around, they asked her again if she could play that, and she had to turn it down again. So I thought it was funny that like there's the character there's the actress that's your wife's replacement, just sitting in a room with you. It was a weird meta thing. And then I also thought it was funny that when Professor X comes out, Danny Elfman immediately went into the 90s cartoon riff for a second. Like, not the music from the movies, you know what I mean? Like, they're like, nah, that's not this Patrick
Well,
Stewart.
he's
It's,
wearing.
yeah, it was funny. It was weird. But
it was good cheese, right? Like it was it substantial? Probably not.
oh, he's not ready. Travis ain't ready for the show yet.
But
I probably will like it more the next time I watch it.
mhm.
That scene, but like I wasn't really having a lot of fun in that scene because it was so obvious to me that this is a room full of bodies that are going to get just slaughtered by Wanda, you know, and I understood that that was the purpose of this scene, was to just have Wanda kill the shit out of them. And so like I could see it coming a mile away, and that's what made me feel weird about the Illuminati scene. I really wanted to enjoy myself and listen to what they were saying and explaining about incursions, but I'm like, y'all are dead. You're just all dead. Like you're over here for some reason telling Doctor Strange that Wanda, who is the imminent threat on her way to your doorstep, is not the real threat, and the guy that's there in handcuffs is. Like, that was stupid. Like, so I was rolling my eyes pretty hard at that scene, and like and Lindsay was yawning, honestly, because it didn't matter to her. And that's the thing to remember. To a casual, what was that scene?
Yeah, it was just like, oh,
It,
I've heard these things.
it was nonsense. It was a
Yeah,
bunch of nonsense, right? Like, why is that Captain Marvel? Why is Patrick Stewart there? You know, like, and I just
by
felt
putting it's like the monkey's paw. You put the Loki multiverse primer right in the Disney Plus show,
not the monkey's paw. That's
but it's
the Chekhov's
yeah.
gun, I think you're saying.
Sorry.
The Chekhov's gun.
You can't have I don't think you can have both, right? By having the brunt of the multiverse stuff being in a Disney Plus show and then expecting casual people just to kind of know what's happening.
For sure, but like I would like to remind you that, like, for the amount of runtime that section of the world occupied in that movie, or yeah, like, we've seen like 8 meaningful episodes of What If. Maybe not arguably all 8 of them were, you know, but every episode of What If showed us a pocket universe somewhere else that had more story to tell than what we got there, you know.
Mhm.
And it made me care about those characters and what happens to them by the end of their own 20-30 minute episode. So I thought it was weird that, like, somehow the guy that was responsible for spawning the multiverse couldn't channel
One more story.
one more story that mattered, you know what I mean? Like, it was weird. Like, that guy's also he also he used to be like a showrunner on Rick and Morty also, right? Like, wasn't it?
I don't know.
I think Waldron used to work on Rick and Morty, and so it was just surprising to me to see that the Illuminati was like really ham-fisted. It was just a little too clunky for me.
Did you? I mean, but did you honestly have faith we were going to get an Illuminati centric movie or show? Like, was that something that you thought was a significant possibility?
I would have liked it more as a show or a movie or something like that. Yeah, because like the fun part about them is their hubris, right?
Mhm.
Um, their hubris of like deciding that they know what's best for the universe. And to be fair, it is a redundant story after Age of Ultron, but like it's also kind of not redundant in that, like, you could argue that the fault of Age of Ultron was that Tony didn't bring anybody in. You know what I mean? He decided what was best for the world on his own. And so like this is kind of the natural evolution, is like look, no one of us should ever be deciding these things.
Mhm.
What if we formed a team? And then see that still is fallible too. Like that's the whole point of that story. So yeah, maybe it's a little redundant with Age of Ultron, but I was hoping, um, but I don't care. I don't like I always tell you this like every time, like after Infinity War, I don't care. Like I like whatever they want to do is fine. It's just make me feel something in the moment, make me feel like, yeah. Travis is commenting, by the way. He's hanging out in the private chat. I can't share his stuff there, but he's saying Black Panther told them they were crazy. The Illuminati. Yeah, it's true. In the comics, Black Panther was a member briefly,
Mhm.
and then he was like,
I mean, that
"You
would have been
guys
cool
are
if they had
you
a
guys are nuts."
Killmonger Black Panther, but I'm sure the passing of Chadwick, like, you don't want the next Black Panther appearance to be not Black Panther, right?
Yeah, I think the thing that I really wanted is not a Killmonger, but a different Black Panther. I
Denzel.
I needed to have the idea of variance a little more solidified in that setting right there, so that for anybody who didn't watch Loki could understand that this doesn't necessarily mean that that's your Mr. Fantastic.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because we know for sure that Patrick Stewart is too damn old to come just to do this more. But I think people, because everybody else was exactly the same person, that there's
It's
supposed
like
to
the
be
Ralph Boner thing, right? Like, a
a
little
little
bit.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little
Right.
bit confusing. And so like we needed a little bit more clarification that like, hey, make it clear that these are possible. Like in other universes, completely other actors can play things. So like it was kind of weird to me that every universe that they went to where they met Doctor Strange, it was always Benedict Cumberbatch. I'm like, couldn't it be somebody else? Like, couldn't it be Tom Cruise or something like that?
You get the Joaquin Phoenix one, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, that would have been awesome. See, that's the kind of thing
Mhm.
I would have liked more, is seeing different actors play characters that don't normally. And but I felt like weird
You
about
also
the
prime
only.
people to be ready for that, right? Like,
Yeah, we
in
were
10
primed for it.
years when
Yeah.
that's gonna happen.
Yeah, and so I think that was what was weirdest to me about that moment, is like the only one that was a swap was Maria Rambeau, but that wasn't a swap of a Carol. She was not a variant of a Carol.
Mhm.
She's a completely different person that has become Captain Marvel,
Yeah.
because the circumstances are different in that universe. And that was weird to me, you know what I mean? Like I just want a different person. Like, so especially when they like brought back stupid Black Bolt guy, and they got Haley Atwell to come, and they got the only Professor X that fans have ever known, and then they got John Krasinski. Well, it's a pattern, right? Well, this is this. So that must be Reed Richards. And
Mhm.
I don't like that they made me draw that conclusion, because
No, yeah, and just inherently, I wouldn't like the idea of starting off with an old Reed with a family. I kinda want them not young, but, like, I want the family to grow as the characters grow, not like, I don't
yeah.
think you start off a Fantastic Four movie with them already having kids, right? Like,
Yeah, you could. It would be a nice way to a nice
mhm. It
refreshing way
fast
to do it.
tracks it.
Like I like at the end of the day, you have to do it different than the other two times have done it.
Mhm.
And so maybe that is the way to do it, because like they keep saying all the time that the Fantastic Four are Marvel's first family. But the problem I have is every time we get those movies, I don't feel a family. I feel like budget sci-fi and with comedy, you know what I mean? Like I don't feel a family. So maybe the real way to do it is to fast track it, and maybe be an older family that has kids, a second
Mhm.
generation in them. It might be. I'm gonna put something out there to kind of lure Travis in. Travis is lurking right now for anybody who's watching. He's eating his meal, and he's just typing in our private chat like responses to what we're saying. But here's my bait for him. I had an idea halfway through that movie of what I wanted to see in the post credits, and it was not pizza balls for sure. Like it was, I wanted to see us revisiting the Illuminati universe one last time and seeing a Doctor Doom find out that his nemesis was dead. A Doctor Doom without a Reed Richards is a very dangerous thing to not only that dimension, but all universes. And so, like, I would be totally fine if that Doctor Doom that I envisioned in my head became the villain of the later stories. You know what I mean?
Everybody, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I felt like that was the biggest missed opportunity. I don't even need to see his face, bro. You could do it just like Thanos, you know, at the end of Avengers, where it's just like the slightest profile like of his helmet, you know, like just realizing my arch enemy for I don't know how many decades is dead. And now it's time for me to conquer everything, you know, like I feel like the problem here is that we're 5 movies in, and as a reminder, by the 6th movie, which was Avengers in phase 1, we absolutely knew where the fuck this train was going. You know what I mean? We actually knew where this train was going before that movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like here we are. Not only are we 5 movies deep in MCU, but we're also like what 6 shows deep.
Yeah. It's the net is very wide this time around.
Yeah, we're 6 shows deep, 5 movies deep, and like the best hint we have of where things might be going is Incursion.
But when you look at it from right, I think we're reeling back in now. Next up, you got Thor, you got Black Panther, you got Ant-Man, you got the Marvels.
Is Black Panther coming before Ant-Man?
Yeah, Black Panther was Christmas.
It is this year.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So you have the familiar reeling back in, like show wise. What do we have? That's new aside from Miss Marvel. That and She-Hulk.
Man, we got
Maybe
Miss Marvel and She-Hulk and
a what if.
possibly season. No, I read somewhere that season 2 of What If is definitely scheduled to come at the earliest the end of this year.
Okay. So
yeah.
the point being, the new is for the most part behind us. It is now revisiting people that we know.
Well, we got a Blade and a Fantastic Four, and
it's still not till 2023 at the earliest, right?
It's not that far. I mean, it's not that
like
far.
Late 2023.
Yeah. Is Travis ready? Thumbs up, Travis. All right. Before we move on, Travis, did you hear my Doctor Doom theory?
No, I did not.
Or what? Oh man, he missed it the whole time.
Sorry.
Fine. I was trying to bait you into coming on earlier. By the way, back up from your mic a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
I was baiting you and saying halfway through that movie, after the whole mess that was the Illuminati, I formulated a wishful thinking post credit scene for that movie, and it was not pizza balls. It was you cut to Latveria in that universe, and you see like the profile of Doctor Doom, and he's watching on the news that Reed Richards is dead, and he realizes that there is now nothing stopping him from conquering not only that universe but all universes. And I just would have jizzed so hard in my pants if that was how that ended, because I would love to know where the fuck this is all going. You know what I mean?
That's the problem with this whole damn movie.
The phase, yeah.
Like, yeah, where is it going? I feel like we're wandering the desert with Moses. Like, come on, Kevin.
Yeah. Come on, Kevin.
Like, work it out, man.
Yeah. It's just That's what I was saying to Ricky before you got here. 5 movies deep and 6 shows deep in phase 4. This is the most content we've ever received in a phase without still knowing where the hell the direction is pointing.
And you know,
other than incursions, incursions.
Yeah, and variants. But look,
yeah,
in my mind, if there's any studio that has earned the benefit of the doubt,
for sure,
right? So they got to mess up pretty epically at this point for me to be like, man, get out of here! Like, get out of here! Like, yeah, it's not gonna happen, right? So
yeah.
So Marvel has so many swings that they can do at this point. Now that being said, like I said, I just wish there was something substantial that I felt like moved the needle. And I just feel like, yeah, I'm no wiser, smarter, more experienced leaving this film as I was going in.
Yeah. By the way, you just reminded me of something, a piece of nerd news that Ricky failed to mention in the previous show.
See? I knew
because I was thinking about it, and like there was something that moved the needle, or the news for the DC universe today. I don't know if you heard, but Viola Davis is currently in talks to
That's rumors. We don't comment on rumors, speculation.
What? That's all you do all the time, bro. You constantly do. But yeah, supposedly she's in talks with Warner Brothers to do a Amanda Waller show.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like the idea of having her be more of the connective tissue of that universe, because she's like the best actress of all of them that we've seen.
Hell yeah.
Aside, only one exception possibly is John Cena, because oh my god, that guy's amazing. But I would put them both up there in the same caliber, like John Cena and Viola Davis.
Speaking of which, I saw this movie at
I'm not even gonna comment on that. I'm just gonna
because it's just so true.
Of course it is. Yeah. Of course it is.
I saw this movie in AMC, and so after the credits roll, or after the trailers roll, they start playing like the AMC specific, like, thank you for coming to AMC, whatever. Slotted before the actual movie was an AMC specific trailer for the DC Super Bowl shit that they showed, like DC 2022.
The awkward thing that's no longer true.
That's no longer true, and then it's hella Ezra Miller on the fucking screen. It's like, oh, this is
I don't know what they're gonna do about that.
Yeah. I want to hear. I wanted to ask you what you thought about that. Like,
it's a hot mess, man. I just like the worst superhero ever. Like, dude, what are you doing?
He's
just
pretty
recast
bad.
him and make him the Reverse Flash, and you're good.
Because don't you kind of always hope that, like, when they cast
it's blown out,
that they're actually like a good human being? Like, doesn't that make you feel good? Like when you hear about, like, the charities that the Chris Pratt and the Chris Evans go and visit and stuff like that. Like, I know Chris Pratt's got his own baggage going on right now, but like
the best.
yeah. But I'm saying, like, it's nice when you hear about these people being good human beings. Like,
here, douchebag, here's a whole bunch of my money.
Yeah. Do you remember how, like, Chris Evans got caught in a dick pic scandal for like a minute, and that got spun into like but it's a really nice dick, like, it's like nobody got mad at Chris Evans for his dick pic because he had built so much goodwill with the people, and Ezra Miller is like at the bottom of the barrel.
Because he doubles down. Like he got arrested, and then like the same week, right? Like dude, fucking.
I gotta say,
man.
If you were to judge a book by its cover, like just on looks alone, I would have pegged Jason Momoa as being the giant asshole, right? Like I know,
and that guy's super chill.
Yeah, he's super chill. But just looking at Aquaman, you're like, I feel like this guy beats up
Should be a
children
douche.
in something. Yeah, but no, like it's Ezra Miller.
Looks like Lobo.
The most innocent looking Flash ever is just throwing chairs at old ladies and shit. It's so ridiculous. Yeah.
Let me tell you how much I wanted to kill you over that Lobo comment. You have no idea.
He looks like a Lobo, right? Jason Momoa, don't tell me I'm wrong.
Like what I'm saying is it's like, you know, when you say, oh, it sounds like Deadpool. I mean, it's like, no. That's why like Deadpool isn't cool in that way. Is because Lobo did it first. You know what I'm saying?
But just to be fair, just because somebody does something first doesn't mean they do it better.
But Lobo is better than Deadpool in my opinion.
I don't like Deadpool, so if he is, I would be interested.
Like so he's an intergalactic, you know, like I said, bounty hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Sound familiar? Who you can't kill because his healing factor is out of control good. Right? Like even like almost to atoms, he'll still come back.
And he has a bike.
Yes.
He has a bike. That's
a hog
that comes to him whenever he needs it to, yeah.
I
don't know
long dreads, like straight up like like Diesel dude, like, you know, just like straight out of heavy metal comics, you know what I'm saying? Like Simon Bisley, like just does, oh my god, dude. It's some people are, oh, Deadpool, and I'm like, yeah, Lobo.
I gotta say though, I can see how you would love Lobo more, but like I never liked Lobo back in the day. Like I don't he wasn't my thing. But it does make me think about, like, because I've definitely seen pictures of you and your dreads back when you were younger, and I'm like, I could see how you would like Lobo, but it made me think about something, and I wanted to tell you about it. Maybe I did tell you about it already, but I got Lindsay to watch the Batman a few weeks ago.
Oh, and okay.
She did not like that movie. She did not like that movie. She did not like having to sit through 3 hours of that movie. But to be fair, in hindsight, as of today, she has decided that she liked that movie better than Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Wow.
Yo.
Yes.
Did you?
I like the Batman better than Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Yeah. I don't think Multiverse is a very good representation of what a good superhero movie can be. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, I think I am a sucker for showing heroes doing heroic things, and the impact of them doing those heroic things. And the only thing that we really saw in this movie was at the very end, Doctor Strange decided that America should be empowered to do her thing herself. But we didn't really get to see what comes of that in their own movie. You know what I mean? So like, he gets like a C+ for me on heroism in that movie. You know what I mean? Like, I saw a lot of Carmitage get just mopped the floor with, like, they're just gone. Like, yeah. And I'm like, you couldn't be more creative about saving them then. Like, you got pretty creative at the end of the movie, Doctor Strange. And so like, so what I'm saying is, like, Moon Knight, when Layla is there stopping a bus from killing a little kid, and that kid like looks at her and sees that and is inspired, that's what gets me in the feels for superhero stories. You know what I mean? When that kid says, "Are you an Egyptian superhero?" Like, it's corny as fuck. I know it is. I know it's pandering to a specific audience too. I don't care, man. It's every kid, every person deserves to have somebody to look up to like that. You know what I mean? Like, they need to do that. And
well,
like,
you got some of that. I mean,
like Wonder Woman 84. I love that scene in the mall. That's super like Christopher Reeves, like, Richard Donner, like homage to the old Superman movies, where she's like saving this kid like comedically from like these bad guys and stuff. And this little girl is just like, wow, watching this. Anytime you cut to the people experiencing superheroism, it gets me in the feels, and it makes me feel like, okay, I get what's happening here. And so, yeah, I just like for me, that's why I like the Batman more, is like at least I saw him grow as a person and realize that it's not enough to be vengeance, the symbol of vengeance. He has to also look out for the people of Gotham and help them in their time of need. And so it takes a long fucking time to get there, kind of like my conversation just now, or my little speech. But at the end of the movie, he's actually like doing the work and helping the people and like pulling the people out of the muck and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And that's enough for me to be like, okay, you pass the test.
Well, you got
Do I think it was my favorite Batman movie ever? No, but I do think it's a pretty solid Batman movie that
Mhm.
just was long in the tooth for sure. But Lindsay was not as kind to that movie. And the funniest thing, that my favorite, she gave the funniest review I've probably ever heard her give for any movie. She said that Batman movie is for anybody that grew up in the 90s and liked to jack off their nasty little dicks to the Crow.
I've never seen The Crow.
Wow.
And
Should I
was
watch
like,
The Crow?
I told Frank that. and
I
he's
really
like-
like the first one.
And I told Frank that, and he's like, at first he was shocked, and then he's like, she's not wrong. She's not wrong. And I can see in Travis's face right now, he's kind of thinking she's not wrong. Because I know you like The Crow.
I
know you
googled
did. I can
crow sexy, and I have images of
I don't
actual
mean,
crows
like,
having sex.
She didn't mean like literally jacking off.
Okay.
You know what I mean? She didn't mean like sexy in a sexual way. She meant,
I
And
think
flirting.
the way we
I think-
jizz over other stuff.
I think that the 90s in particular, and I can say that because that's professionally really when I started to actually make money for, doing things, in games. Darkness, Gothic things were de rigueur in the 90s.
Mhm.
That's where our vampire game came out. Anne Rice's Vampire was popular then. Neil Gaiman had the Sandman going on around then, and everyone was sort of dressed up in that sort of gothic, gaunt, sort of thing. So
Another simpler word is emo.
yeah, and so to take that further, right? Like I don't know if there's a more emo superhero than the Cape Crusader. You know what I'm saying?
That is a way of looking at it, but like
how else is it? I mean, the whole thing is that he was scared out of his. He was whatever.
Adam West.
He was scared.
Adam
He was whatever. He was scared out of his mind when he was in that situation, and he dedicates his whole existence to making evildoers feel that kind of fear. I mean, he traffics in emotion. That is emo to the nth degree, right?
Yeah. Have you ever watched Batman Brave and the Bold?
No.
It's a
Well,
really
it goes
good,
back to your argument
it's a really
earlier.
good
Like,
cartoon.
there's different people are going to pick and choose that they're Batman, right? Like, it's
for sure.
Yeah.
But that's what I was trying to say is like Batman Brave and the Bold, it tries to channel more of that camp. Like it's really good stories that they tell. It's with Diedrich Bader as the voice of Batman, but they try to like bring in like all the really forgotten characters of the DC universe and tell like these fun stories with Batman that aren't rooted in that tragedy and sadness. Because there is a long-standing time period where Batman's like the righteous superhero, like and I think it's exactly what Ricky's saying. Is like people like to cherry pick the Batman that they identify with, and that's fine. Like comics are so, like they've been around for so long that you can't like it all, and that's fine.
I mean, we're at a point where we've got enough Batman movies where you can pick and choose too. Like,
yeah, exactly. And so that's why I've never said I'm mad at that Batman movie. Like, and that's why I thought it was funny when Travis and I were chatting about it when it came out. Like, you were like, "That was Chef's kiss," blah blah blah, and I'm like, I give it like a B minus, and he's like, and you were so offended by that. And I'm like, what? I like that movie. I do like it.
It's funny because, I forget where you stand on Man of Steel.
Oh, I don't like that movie.
That's why I roll my eyes because
let me remind you forever.
Great movie.
I don't like that movie.
Wait. When you talk about growth, you talk about character arcs, and you talk about some of the most defining moments, for people, it should be a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean it should be a thing?
Like
you mean just having those existing stories?
Yes. And I see these movies sometimes as this journey, like a growth to be imperfect, right? And what makes Batman? And is he always fully formed when you first meet him? Right? And so I enjoy seeing like those pivotal moments where, that light turns on and he says, I can't do this or I can't do that, or so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So when I see sort of like, oh, I used to be a certain way, now I've done that.
Yeah.
Now and so for me,
I think you're oversimplifying because like the problem I have is there are pillar moments for sure where there's growth, and I don't think I needed a pillar moment being, oh shit, I just snapped that guy's neck.
I love that scene.
I know you do,
because
I love that scene too.
I feel like he didn't have a choice, and he cries after that.
And Zod told him, he says, I'm gonna kill everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now you got a choice.
Yeah, and you whip out the Phantom Zone projector that you didn't know was there, and you send him to the Phantom Zone so he can come back for other stories.
So like you what do you take the S off of your chest and you throw it at him and it surrounds him with cellophane paper?
Yeah,
and they fall into the snow and then and that's
if they would have,
I think I love Zod as a character because of like all the times that he plots revenge and comes back, and all the times that he makes Superman regret not killing him, and so like he's like the Joker.
Why is that okay in Marvel and that's not okay in DC?
No, it's not. It's not that it's not okay in Marvel. It's not that. It's that I think that
because some people get canceled in the Marvel in the MCU.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I don't mind when certain characters kill. Like I don't have a problem with Wonder Woman killing people. Like so, I think the biggest problem I have with Superman is like, and I've told you this a million times before, but it's fine. I'll recap it for you. I love his Elseworld stories. Like I love most of them because they're awesome, especially Red Sun. Red Sun is one of my favorite ones. And the reason I love Elseworlds is because they dare to imagine a world where Superman doesn't get the things that make him Superman, right? He's deprived of those things. And most of the time, the cool Elseworld stories involve that that spaceship not ending up in the hands of Mom and Pa Kent, right? Of Martha and Jonathan Kent. And so like, have you ever read Supreme Power? That's another that's a Marvel. Like every single one of these stories is, for whatever reason, the baby doesn't get to stay with the two people best suited to raise this child. And that always goes to shit. Like it always goes to shit. It's never good when he doesn't get raised by those two people, because those people instill in him all the values that he needs to be Superman. And I hate so much Kevin Costner. In general, I hate Kevin Costner. I just in general hate him. But like in that movie, when dude saves a bus full of children and then gets chewed out for it when he gets home, and he says, what was I supposed to do? Let them die? and Pa Kent says, I don't know, maybe. I'm like, I checked out at that moment in time because I'm like, fuck you, Kevin Costner. Fuck you, Jonathan Kent. You are supposed to have a definitive answer for your son who needs you, who's looking to you for an answer in this one moment. You don't have to have all the answers, but please, dear God, don't tell the kid with unlimited power. I don't know, maybe. Like that's like no, man. And then also, don't die for the dog. Don't die for the dog, Kevin Costner. That is stupid. I love my dog. Travis, you don't have to answer this question, but would you die for Pixel? Would you die for Pixel?
No, I'm not dying for Pixel.
Exactly, man. He's the worst fucking pocket ever. So at that point, I figured, all right.
Well, that's why he's such an interesting Superman, because he's missing
I'm watching a shitty Elseworlds where this Superman sucks. And I didn't pay money to go watch sucky Superman. I didn't want to see that. And then the other biggest problem I have with it is like all the fans that defend all that shit, they tell me, they always talk about the potential of where it was going to go. Dude, we've seen where it was actually going to go. Have you seen Zack Snyder's proposed script for Justice League 2? That was a fucking shit show, man.
No, I didn't.
Even Ricky agrees with that.
I can't speak to a movie that hasn't been made. All I'm telling you is that I feel like I enjoy origin stories, and more so the reason why I like it is because I love finding out what was that moment.
Yeah. Right.
And for me, you know, fighting this knockdown drag out, like, you know, supersonic, you know, fight in the middle of a place where he shouldn't be, and an opponent who was doing all this stuff gives, you know, is all the experience you need to know next time do it differently, right? And I think that the problem is that as opposed to like a Marvel film that had another film and another film and another film where you could build on, you know, that arc, Man of Steel's just hanging out in the wind, twisted. Yeah. And it's been that way for so long now that people think, hey, that's it. And, you know, so I can't tell you like, oh, it was this new, you know, what Zach was planning. But if it is what you say it is, then that's...
I could tell you,
Jack
Clark was going to find out that in the time he was gone, Lois got pregnant by Bruce Wayne.
You're kidding, right?
No, not.
There's even the pregnancy test.
There's a pregnancy test in the drawer when Lois in the Snyder cut of the.
Okay, I'm checked out already. All right, let's.
Yeah, no, there's a pregnancy test, and that was him alluding to the thing that was going to happen later. Yeah. It was going to
like
be
when the flashback scene. He said it's her, it's Lois. It was always her. It was all gonna like circle back. It's so dumb.
Yeah. Yeah.
On
like
Dennis's. Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say. So like that's my problem. Is like I really try to judge a story based on what they actually do in the context of the story.
Right.
And however it ages, that's cool. Like if it ages well because of other things that happen later. But I refuse to like give it points for where it could have gone if it never gets to go there. Do you know what I mean?
I do. Yeah. Well, here, so now I have a topic that's close to home. Then, so did you see the Avatar trailer?
Yeah, we were talking about that right before. We brought it up, and then we're like, let's stop talking about this and wait for Travis to come back. But yeah, I saw it, and I'll tell you this. Like,
no, be brutal.
I think it's been so long that it's hard for me to like be super excited. But there was a part of me in my brain that automatically calmed down my nerd and said, when has he ever steered you wrong? You know, like I can operate on good faith when a storyteller is consistently known for doing good storytelling. I will never operate on good faith when it comes to Zack Snyder, because fuck that guy.
I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah, and
How
so
about you,
like,
Ricky? No.
Oh, I loved every bit of it, and it's on Dennis's sentiment of like, I know James Cameron will give you a reason to go see that movie in theaters.
yeah,
That is not a movie you go see. You wait for video on demand. So I get why it's been delayed, because that is something like he proved with the first Avatar. Like that was a fucking event, dude.
yeah.
You know
Well,
that.
the thing I respect about him is like every time he does a movie, he invents a billion new technologies for
Mhm.
them. You know,
Yeah.
and then that it sets the tone for movies for the next generation. You know, like
I'll give you you know the inside word on that. The movies that he's doing are research for the movies that he's about to do.
they always are. They
Okay.
always are. That's what's crazy about them.
So if you look at for example you know Titanic, well no, if you Terminator,
Mhm.
right, and then he made The Abyss, right, and then you had the water creatures in The Abyss, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what did that eventually turn into? The T-1000, right?
Yeah.
And then you have True Lies, right? And they were like, man, we can make this look real enough to be Titanic.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so when you go back and you take a look at Battle Angel Alita, that's all Avatar research, right?
Yeah, but that
And
also that movie
that
wasn't
was
good.
I mean, I think it's, you know, that's subjective.
That was Robert
But it
Rodriguez,
wasn't.
right?
But it wasn't.
No,
But it wasn't
what,
James Cameron directing it, though. You know what I mean?
No.
He wasn't researching a script.
Yeah, I know. I know.
He was
I know.
researching animation, right?
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying. So if you go back and you take a look at Alita, that's really impressive.
Mhm.
And so, so if you, if you play a video game, like you remember, you know, were you really playing video games like when Final Fantasy VII first came out?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, Ricky was not.
Okay, so if you were playing video games back then, and then Final Fantasy went away, you know, and in your dreams or in your memories, right? Like Final Fantasy was like this graphical tour de force that was like amazing. And then when you saw it again, you were like, this doesn't look as good as I remember in my head.
Yeah. That's why I
Right?
haven't gone back to watch Avatar. I haven't gone back.
No. So, go back and watch it.
Avatar holds up.
It's still good, okay?
Yeah.
But that's not the point. The point I'm making here is the new footage looks like it does in your dreams. Like, holy potatoes, right? Like, it's out of control. And I think, in addition to that, what I'm enjoying the most is that having read that script over and over and over and over and over again, I know every scene that was in that trailer. And I was like, this is gonna blow people away. Like
Yeah.
it like on the real. Because when you can look at that movie and not know like what is real and what is not, you know, and then when you like what James Cameron does really well is he takes a story and makes it accessible
Mhm.
and relatable, you know.
Yeah. I will
You know,
comment on that really quick though.
Yeah.
I do feel like I remember myself as a 20-something-year-old watching Avatar
Mhm.
and watching the paralyzed like Jake Sully just magically get to walk around in an avatar. And I was like, fuck you, Jake Sully. Fuck you. That's just my 2 cents. I know you don't have to feel that way, but I never liked Jake Sully because that was fucking cheating. And I'm pretty sure if you stuck my brain in an avatar, I would still fall on the ground and not walk.
He tripped once, right? And yeah, it's
Well, I mean, he wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't born that way. Look,
I know he wasn't, but I'm allowed to still feel that way when I
Yeah.
watch that movie. So when you said it makes him accessible, I was like,
points are so important.
like maybe not the way you meant it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
So in addition to that, like as opposed to like Star Wars, and I love me some Star Wars.
Mhm.
even
But damn
the
it,
book of Boba Fett.
they just don't plan things correctly.
Yeah.
They don't.
Oh
Right?
no, yeah.
And,
I will never accuse James Cameron of not planning
No,
shit. That's
what
all he
is
does.
it?
You don't know the 10th.
It's
Yeah.
4 movies, right?
But yes, but
Yeah.
what I will and working on the games,
Mhm.
the immense amount of research into just one creature, of which we had many, but just one took
Yeah.
more time than you can imagine.
You know,
Right?
you know who reminds me of him kind of is Alfonso Cuarón. That guy just disappears for like 8 years at a time and then comes back with revolutionary movies.
Yeah.
And
And-
it's you don't have a lot of directors that do what they do like that. It's really cool.
What's your so and last thing is like and you know, John the producer says this before, it's like, why would we need to leave Pandora? Right? Like you got all these other
Ecosystems,
whole
environments.
planet.
well no, you've got other intellectual properties that you have to go to another planet. You don't have to go to another planet.
Mhm.
You know, on Pandora. And honestly, I can't think of a more fully developed alien ecosystem that's ever been in a movie ever.
Well, I
And
mean,
so when you see it,
is
it doesn't
quadrupling
look,
down on it, so I hope so. Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is, it's like, as opposed to like, you know, any other science fiction, you know, movie or anything really. Like, what else have you seen that you can look at a planet and go, this doesn't look like anything on Earth?
Well, let me ask you this really quick before Ricky gets in there. In this planet, are there ever like penis monsters, and then the scientists go and they want to take a closer look at the penis monsters, so they take their masks off, and then the penis monsters jump into their faces? Does that happen? If that doesn't happen, I'm good.
There was a penis tail, I think, right?
I don't think there's any. I don't think there's any penis monsters.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I can say that as a subject matter expert.
All right, awesome. What were you going to ask?
I think it's neat that they're choosing to, I mean, stay on Pandora.
Mhm.
Like, you could have spun Avatar into a bajillion different directions that you wanted to, but that they're staying on Pandora and sticking to this world that they made and getting more use out of it versus, all right, we're done. Let's go visit the next planet. Let's go rinse and repeat with another world. You know, I think that's cool. Let's stick around with Pandora.
The best part about this is that it releases literally on my birthday.
Until wave 5 of the pandemic spreads.
I know, right? And
Yeah.
it's the Xena strain or some shit like that.
Yeah. But for right now,
for Sam Worthington's career, we need this movie to come out like now.
My God,
that
dude, that
dude's
poor
on
guy.
payroll.
That poor guy.
I just really can't wait. I you know, because it's like it's like the biggest secret for like years now. Like, you know, and I'm like, and I can't talk to anyone.
Yeah, I just can't wait to feel properly represented again by Sam Worthington. I just love it. I love so much the way he gives me that feeling of being heard and understood. I fucking hate that guy in that movie. I just do. I just hate him so much. I was like actively angry at him while I watched that movie.
Because he gets out of the wheelchair? Is that it?
Because he just gets to go and have fun walking around.
They make it permanent by the end of that too.
They make it permanent, and I'm like, screw you, bro. Screw you. That's just rude. That's also why I hated I like the newer X-Men movies, I mean, some of them, like First Class and stuff like that. But I kind of hate that Professor X because that guy is just conveniently walking around whenever he's not using psychic power.
Yeah, there's just medicine that fixes that now.
I know, right? And I was like, you know what I like about Patrick Stewart is he's always disabled in the real world. And if you see him walking, that's a projection. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. By the way, I truly loved that scene in like when he was in Wanda's brain. Like, oh man, that was beautiful. I just felt a little robbed of like
not in a suit.
She's just gonna snap his neck, huh? Not just gonna snap it. Just not even a chance, Professor X. You watched Legion, right, Travis?
I didn't finish it.
What? Oh man, you didn't finish Legion? I bet
it's on Disney Plus, isn't it?
No, it's not. No, it's on Hulu. Yeah, they can't put it on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Dude, if you weren't smoking out and watching Legion, you are missing out. But the reason I said, how far did you get on that show?
I don't even remember. I'd have to start from the beginning again, which I actually don't mind. You know, it's funny because you know how you feel like you've gotten to the end of the internet sometimes where you're like,
yeah. I do feel that way. Like I finished Ozark this week.
I dropped off on like season 3 or something like that. So I need to pick up.
You know, I did drop off on Ozark at one point, and then I just finally I came to the end of the internet.
It's a good show. Yeah.
I came to the end of the internet and I was like, I should just go watch this. And so I caught back up on it. I didn't like season 2. Season 3 got better, and then season 4 was the final season, so it ended this last weekend. But yeah, I totally feel you. Like when you just get to the end of the internet, I can't recommend you finish Legion enough. Like if you get there, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but like the way they visualize psychic battles is everything I've ever seen in the comics and so much more.
Wow.
So much more.
And this is something that we didn't talk about on the show, which I found just in this moment, I'm just like, how can we not have spoken about this?
Yeah, well, we forgot about Amanda Waller's show too, so that's Ricky's fault. So everybody messes up sometimes.
Yeah. Like, I really so this RPG that the first one that I professionally worked on is called Ars Magica, and it stands for the art of magic.
Yeah.
Now in Ars Magica, there is there's something that is called Kritamen, and Kritamen is a magical duel, right? And through
yes, I know.
Through it's how wizards it's how wizards battle, and the best thing about that tabletop RPG is that you actually can just describe this battle, as you're playing through it with your whoever is battling with you, and it matters, and anything that you can conceive happens, right? And so when I saw them go back and forth with music and notes, and I was like, holy shit balls, this is
they were playing
awesome.
Bach. They were playing Bach.
I know.
I found it. It's here. It's here in my notes, Travis, and like as one of the 3 things that I love the most about the visual effects was the Wanda horror, the Soul
Yeah.
Shroud, which I talked extensively about because I love that thing,
Yes.
and I called it Fantasia. Oh
It was
man,
so
when
sweet,
it was
dude.
happening, I leaned over to Lindsay and I'm like, they're just doing fucking Fantasia now, and I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I loved that so much. I don't want
Yeah.
to hear what Ricky has to say because I can see it on his fucking face, and I hate it.
And the
I hate.
only thing I regret about that scene was I wasn't in a Dolby Atmos theater.
Oh, I was.
Oh,
no, it
dude.
didn't do nothing for me. Like it
Yeah.
aside from visually looking cool, the gimmick of it, it didn't.
Okay, Ricky.
It didn't
Let me ask
spark
you a question
emotion.
before you finish.
Okay.
Before you finish,
Mm.
did you see Dune in the theater?
Yes. No, sorry, no, not Dune. I did not see
Oh.
Dune in the theater. Sorry.
Okay.
That was like peak COVID. Like,
I've only seen oh wait, I keep forgetting I saw Matrix in the theater. I forgot. I was gonna say I've only seen the Marvel movies and Everything Everywhere All at Once in theaters.
Mhm.
But yeah, I forgot I also saw the
I'm
Matrix.
trying to think what I burned my pandemic thing on. I burned it on Shang-Chi. Tenet was like the last big thing I burned it on before like middle of pandemic.
You want to talk about scary pandemic? I watched the Black Widow premiere in Hollywood. Like I was at the red carpet for that. That
Yeah.
fucking scared the shit out of me, man. Everybody at Marvel's like putting up signs and saying you don't have to wear a mask if you're vaccinated. Or no, wait, there was no vaccinations back then. Or were there?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
there were. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to wear a mask, and I'm like, I'm good. And like people kept telling me, like, if you'd like to take your mask off, because for the photos and shit. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm not taking this off. It's like 150 people here, man. Like, fuck that. And then, you should have seen all the people across the street that were like in awe that a movie premieres were back. Like there was like just so many people waiting to see celebrities and shit. And then you
Mhm.
find out that they decided to not invite the celebrities to this one. So we were the fucking guinea pigs because like they wanted to see if it was cool.
Maybe people show up.
To bring people back, like, yeah, the most famous person that was at the premiere in Hollywood, Rob Liefeld.
Damn.
Rob Liefeld was there. Oh, Agent Coulson was there actually, and he was there with his kid. Yeah, it was weird. But anyways, yeah, I've only seen a handful. So like Dune, I know that one day Dune will be in IMAX again when the second movie comes out, and I'll watch it then. Like, but
The only reason
I loved it. I loved it at home, honestly.
Yeah,
I did.
The only reason I say that is because, and I think it did win for audio.
It won a shit ton of Oscars.
But trust me, son, you like you can't experience audio but Dune, like when they did the beginning where they've got that didgeridoo almost sounded like right at the beginning. When that happened in this Dolby Atmos IMAX theater that I was in, and I felt it like in my chest, I was like,
that's why I go to the movies. Like,
it's gonna be but you don't understand. Like there was I'm telling you, there's the other movies. And this Oscar award-winning experience is what I'm saying. And if you ever get a chance to watch Dune that way, you need to do it immediately.
I caught Blade Runner
cow.
in Atmos IMAX or whatever, and that's another similar movie where you get those long drones of the music, and you feel it, and it's beautiful, and it's a different experience 100% than watching it at home. I know Dennis, you're on like if everything came to VOD, you would be fine.
Well, you got to remember, I'm not sitting in those seats, guys. I'm not.
You're sitting in your seat. Yeah.
I'm sitting in mine.
Well,
I don't feel it the same way. Like I don't feel it on the ground the same way. Like I hear it. But it's different for me. So for me, like I have a pretty good sound system and like a really small living room. So like the speakers just blast us pretty good. And the other thing I really like is that at home I play the subtitles at the same time. So if the sound is so loud it's inaudible, I can definitely read what they're saying and stuff like that, you know. So I always hate when I'm watching a movie and I like just because I miss something, like I was laughing too loud, or I just missed what somebody said, and then you're just wondering like, did I miss something important? You know, like
Sure.
so I like having the subtitles. That to me, that's more important than having like the best sound ever.
Mhm.
But that said,
I dig it.
that Fantasia scene in Doctor Strange sounded so cool, and like yeah, that's what I've been saying like all night long. Is like there was so many little moments of just visual joy that was like, what?
Yep.
Who thought of this? Who thought of this shit? Like when
Mm-hmm.
he turned all those weird demons into his cape. I was like, who thought of that, man?
Yeah.
Who thought of that? Like it was just so cool to see all these things. Like, but yeah, I feel you on that. Like I could see how the musical note thing would be silly to some people, but like
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, were you not watching the rest of the movie? Like, I mean, you know, it's like where's the line for silly?
I,
You know, like
it's to me though, it's like, to me now that's in the Wizard Duel Hall of Fame,
yeah,
of
yeah,
which there is Dumbledore versus Voldemort, when he told him you should have never come back, Tom. You know, and they start dueling it out. Oh my God, that duel is just out of control good. I would say another duel was obviously
Gandalf.
Sauron and
Yeah,
Gandalf. You know, which
Saruman,
is
right? Saruman.
Sauron.
When did
Yes,
Gandalf fight
Saruman.
Saruman? Yeah,
Saruman. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I was like, Gandalf
Um,
didn't fight Sauron.
no, Saruman. And oh, there's another one. Come on. Why is it escaping me? And it's not Harry Potter Voldemort either.
Was
Although
it not? Was
some of
it
those
Now
are
You
good.
See Me or Now You See Me Too?
Oh, why can't I? Oh, it'll come to me some other time. But yeah, I mean, yeah. So for me, those scenes were just amazing,
Okay,
and I love it.
I can honestly say if those things like hit the spot for you, watch all of Legion. Like
Okay.
the other reason, Lindsay loves Legion. Like she never stops using it as a reference point for some of the best accessible but cerebral like superhero stuff she's ever seen. She loved comparing it to Moon Knight every week too, because Legion is in a similar
Oh
place.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Yes, of course.
yeah. You know, he's got a
Well,
lot,
see
a
that's
lot.
that's the problem though. That's the because when I saw like Legion, and I thought, oh, this is a perfect opportunity to do really cool stuff. You know what I'm saying? And the MCU was going on at the same time, and I'm like, but it's not MCU. And that's the whole cool part about it
Yeah.
is, he's Professor X's son, and and I know they play with that in some way, shape, or form
Yes.
in this, so I'll watch it.
See that? So that was the funny thing is because I know the showrunner for somebody who did like What If or one of the recent shows, or maybe Hawkeye.
Mhm.
Apparently they had previously worked on like Gifted. Do you remember that stupid
The
X-Men
other X-Men show.
tie-in? Yeah, the other X-Men
Yeah,
show
yeah, yeah,
besides
yeah, 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 yeah.
besides Legion. And what it was funny is he was talking like it was an interview, promoting the new Marvel Disney Plus show, and somebody knew that his credit included Gifted, and so they were asking him about that time and like comparing it to now, and he was saying like basically he's like, look, I don't like to talk shit, but that was like such a garbage job. Like that was like such a
Wow.
shit show of a job because like we came up with this idea at one point. We're just like, wouldn't it be cool to tell this story? And Fox was like, yes, we like that, but we have some notes.
Oh no.
And then Fox basically like tied both hands behind their backs and said, you can never reference Magneto. And they're like, but how? This character is his daughter. They're like, we don't care, can't do it. You can never reference like Wolverine, it just kept laundry listing all the things that they were never allowed to do. And so it just ended up, I guess, a very stifled project. And so what's funny about that is like Legion is kind of the opposite thing, where Legion starts with you if like, hey, Legion is an X-Men character, so like, what's up with this universe? This universe is weird. Like, it doesn't look like a universe that I recognize. It's like, is it the X-Men universe? They're putting a shit ton of X's all over the place and making me think something, but then they kind of allude to like there were X-Men, and I'm like, I'm confused. And so the longer and longer the show goes, the more you realize that you're just always supposed to be confused until they decide to pull the curtain back. And when they pull the curtain back, it's pretty fucking cool, man. Like, it's like, so they got to tell in 3 seasons a story that was so much more faithful to the comics than I ever thought was possible when they started. Like, from where they start at point A to where they get at point B and all the zigzags in between, it's just so beautiful. And
say no more. All right.
Highly recommend that one. But
I had a friend of mine who used to work with I used to work with him at Ice Storm, and he would visibly be upset at me because I have not watched Legion, right? Like, and it was a thing, like, to the point where I'm sure it's awesome, but I just wanted to piss Andrew off, and so I just said, I haven't watched it. He said, why haven't you watched it? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm just not feeling it. And he's like, oh, so I should just go ahead and watch it.
It hurt Lindsay every time like Frank would remind us that he'd never watched it. Like, yeah, and it hurts that Ricky doesn't too, but like, I honestly, you know what? It's a good segue into the thing that I wanted you to talk about too. But like, I honestly have a hard time finding stuff on FX that I dislike. I think FX puts out some of the best shows, like, period. And so like I love Fargo, who is, by the way, same showrunner as Legion, same damn guy. Yeah, like that's how they got him to do Legion. They already had that guy on the hook for Fargo. He had already done 1 or 2 seasons of Fargo and tons of acclaim and whatever. And I don't know if you know this too, but like when the merger happened, when they bought, when Disney bought Fox and stuff, they Noah Hawley is the showrunner. Kevin Feige actually brought him in for a meeting just to get his take on where they should go with like the Fantastic Four and the X-Men stuff and everything like that. Because at that moment in time, he was kind of like the last guy, last guy that was doing good shit. I don't know if you know, but Fox had him write a script for Doctor Doom. Like, he wrote a Doctor Doom movie, and then Disney bought Fox. And like, so we'll never see that one unless we do. So like, but it was nice to know that like, of all this shit that was made, that we can all like agree to, different extents how much it was good or bad or whatever. Kevin Feige's like, I want to talk to that guy, because that guy, he knows his shit. Yeah, he had some ideas, and I like that, So like, but he does some really cool shit with music and dance and things that you wouldn't expect, but like, he makes you very aware that there are no rules in a psychic battle, much like a wizard battle, kind of like very few rules have to actually exist. And
makes sense. Like, so it's sort of, then it gets very Matrixy at that point, right?
It does to where you're like, what is real?
Who can outwit and out imagine the other, right?
Well, having worked on Matrix, as well, right? I mean, that was the core, but that was the core theme behind what what Morpheus was telling Neo. He says, uh, so are you saying I can dodge bullets? And he said, no, man. He says, what I'm saying is that once you really get it, you won't have to, because you'll realize that all this is bullshit. And because if it's all bullshit, you could do whatever you want. And then your problems become, oh, I just didn't think of that, as opposed to anything else. You see what I'm saying? So I think that's kind of cool. So, okay, sold. I'll watch it.
Now, that said, please explain to Ricky why he needs to watch Atlanta.
I watch Atlanta.
Do you watch all of it?
I'm not caught up on Atlanta, but I've seen up to season 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I watched in the first episode of season 3.
Oh, okay. You're just not actively watching it. Okay.
It's been a busy couple weeks, man. Atlanta's great.
The funniest.
Atlanta is like. It's like. It's almost undefinable, right?
Yeah.
Because
it can be what it wants each and every week.
And be unapologetic about it, right? Like, I feel like basically what they said was, hey, Glover, man, what do you want to do? And he says, damn it, I'm going to do this. And they're like, all right, because why not? And every time, especially season 3, you're like, where are you going? Where are you going? And then you go, oh, that was deep.
Yeah. The funniest thing for me is like, so I don't know how I managed to do it, but I watched the first 2 seasons without Lindsay. Like, she never was around when I was watching them or whatever. Like, it was just a show I just watched because they're like half-hour shows, whatever. Like,
just sneaking it in,
and I would just sneak it in, and I loved it. I think she noticed every now and then when I watch, but like,
it's not the demographic.
But she happened to start watching the first episode of this season with me, right? And she was like very, very like pulled in, but at the same time, she's like, what? And I'm like, you just got to go with it on this show.
You really do.
Like, don't overthink this. Just let this happen.
Let it happen. Sit back, relax. Let it happen.
I promise you, it's funny. Like, she didn't understand that it was a comedy, right? Like, because like to me, I laugh every episode of Atlanta. Like, something makes me laugh always. Even like the hardest hitting episodes, I still laugh because I get the absurdity of what's happening, and what's happened is like she really liked that one, and so the next week came around, and she just happened to be right there to watch the second one with me.
There you go.
And I was like, CC, these are the main characters that are normally on the show, but like they're doing this fun thing sometimes, like I explained to her like Aziz's show, like Master of None. Sometimes they like to tell other stories, and that's fine too, and it's cool. But they're always like often like it's something to do with race relations in America, usually, whether it be like black on black like crime or whether it be the way the different entertainment industries view people of color, whatever it is. But like, I was really loving how hard they were going on these episodes that didn't have the cast. Because she saw that second episode with Tupac, and Lindsay was like, what is, I'm like, you just gotta go with it. I promise you, this is always good. And so what's ended up happening is she's watched every episode this season of the show, and she's never watched the first 2 seasons.
Wow.
And what the best part about it is sometimes when the episodes are like not quite over, she feels guilty because she's a white girl watching the show, and it just feels like she just feels guilty for just being who she is. And I love it so much. I love watching her feel all the guilt that show makes her feel. It's so good. And I was like, good. That's how you know the show works.
Yeah, it does a really great job of presenting these realities for a lot of people to people who don't experience them, but it makes it very relatable.
Straight up no chaser.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You
No
know,
chase at
and,
all.
and 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 that's the crazy part, right? I'm like, what are y'all doing? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, like they're gonna cancel you. They'll be like, nah, these are already in the can. What are they gonna do? You know, they're gonna air them. You know,
I know,
and
right?
so,
Yeah.
What do you
you
want
know,
another? You don't want another Emmy, like
right?
right.
And that's what hurts me so much about one of the things that we lost from the Disney acquisition. That guy wrote a
A
Deadpool
Deadpool.
Oh yeah,
animated
Yeah,
show.
they pissed him
yeah.
off though about that. That was the
Yeah,
whole
I know.
thing.
Such a shame.
I forgot
Such
what
a
it was.
shame.
What happened? How he got burned or what?
I don't know, but they said that they were talking some shit about the script or something like that. Maybe it wasn't good or something like that. And so he released it
Yeah.
all. Right. And said, I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. And everybody was like, yo, son, this is good.
Mhm.
And he was like,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh well.
Since you
I
don't want to buy it. Yeah.
It's fine. But
Oh,
yeah, Ricky, go finish that show because it's super good. It's hilarious. The
Cool.
newest episode. The newest episode, man. It's got them Liam Neesons in it. That's
yep.
all I'll say. The Liam Neesons, so good.
Yep. Yep.
So good. That was like one of the most meta things I've ever seen. Like, I was like, they got this guy on here
Mm-hmm.
talking about his cancellation
Mm-hmm.
and then deciding he doesn't give a shit about it
Mm-hmm.
on the show.
What
Like,
did he get canceled about? What did he do?
for saying some racist shit.
When did he do that?
Dude, it was like, so here's the thing. What, like, contextually, it's really awkward because, like, he was trying to
Liam Neeson racist.
he was trying to make people understand how he's grown as a person. So he overshared a story
Oh, okay, yes, I remember this. Yeah.
about rape. Like somebody that he knew close to him, I don't remember if it was a family member or whatever, was raped, and she described the assailant as a black man.
Yeah, and
he said in that moment he wanted to go out and find any black man and do harm to him, you know. And but he was saying that in the context of like 20 years later,
yeah,
knowing that was the wrong thing to say. But you know, cancel culture doesn't really pay attention to the context of things sometimes. So they tried to cancel him, but as that episode showed, you can't cancel Liam Neeson. Like, you just can't. You can't do it.
He has a special set of skills.
Exactly. Yeah. But it was pretty. It's
and
pretty
that's
meta.
It. And so it's fun. It's funny because I don't think the first season you sort of see it.
Yeah, it didn't go as hard as
the second season. You're like, yo, they're talking about some really deep ish, but they cloak it in hood speak.
Yeah.
Right. And so that was the great part about the show for me, was it's like these cats were like really contemplating some ill stuff, right? But they were doing it, you know, hoodie, you know, like it was very like just down to earth.
Yeah.
Now they've gone from talking about it to showing you.
Yeah. But they remove a layer of discomfort by doing it in other countries.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, so like they're doing the world tour right now, basically. And so you get to see that racism's just fucking everywhere. Like it's
everywhere.
It's not just America. And you know, like, but every now and then they take an interlude and they tell you a fun, super racist story about like stupid ass white people in Atlanta. And it's so good. Like that one last week, Travis. Oh my God. That little white kid was so amazing. Like
you're so like, good. Oh my God. Yeah.
Ricky got it.
I'll go watch it. I'll go watch it.
You gotta do it.
I'm free next week, so I have a lot of time on my hand.
Yeah. I'll stop talking about these and stuff. But like, yeah.
But you're right about FX.
Yeah.
I mean, Super Network.
Yeah. It's so good. Like I finally
Louis was good until shit went down.
Like, you know, I think it was Legion and Atlanta that finally convinced me to watch the Fargos, because I had never watched them, and those shows are amazing too. It was really like, once I had finished Legion, because like you never know about a show, you know, like is it gonna land? Is it gonna stick the landing? You know what I mean? But when I found out that they only wanted Legion to be 3 seasons, and he told the story that he wanted to tell. And like, it's such a sweet thing when a show gets to finish, you know, like when it gets to actually tell the story it wants to tell, and it sticks that fucking landing. Oh man, you just love that creator forever, and you'll follow him. You'll be like, what else are you doing? You're doing Fargo? That's got
You know
a billion Emmys. I'm gonna watch it. You know,
what is it? Dave.
I love Dave. Dave's so good.
I haven't
That
watched
is
that one.
such a good show.
All right, I'll check it out.
It's almost like the reverse Atlanta in a weird, and
It is,
in the fact they deal with like the themes of.
It is very Atlanta-esque. It's like Atlanta light to some degree. Because you know, whatever. I love Nick as well. But you know what I'm saying is, it's like it like sometimes you'll be like, okay, this is cool, and then you'll be like, yo, this is a straight up metaphor for the issue going through right now.
Yeah.
You know, like, work it out, Dave. You know, and just, you know, there's several episodes that deal with mental health. You know, it's yeah. I mean, and it's surprisingly well acted, and self-revelatory, perhaps.
You know what FX show broke my heart? Why the Last Man?
I did not start.
It just
I wanted to give it. I wanted to see it. Like I was like, I'm not watching the first season because I feel like it's such a like out there concept. I don't have any faith that they're going to get that right. And maybe if they get renewed for season 2, it'll be like they course correct or something like that.
I didn't finish it because they canceled it. They didn't even finish airing all the episodes, I think.
Whoa.
I don't think they finished airing them all.
Are you serious?
Or if they did, I just stopped because of the cancellation. Like,
okay, because I can't imagine how bad of a show you would have to be for them to have shows in the can and not run them.
Yeah, I just didn't finish it because I got the news and I was like, well, if you're not gonna finish telling this story,
there's 10 episodes.
Like,
yeah.
Okay, there's 10. Yeah, I think I got 6 or 7 before the cancellation rumor or news came out.
Oh, okay.
But well, I think the thing that hurt it the most is like, bro, the whole basis of the story is a global pandemic that wipes out most of the humanity. I don't.
Not a good look right now.
I don't think you release that in 2021.
Yeah.
Like maybe wait a little while. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
It
like, it was in that weird time where stuff had to just
a pandemic that kills all the men too.
I know, right? Yeah. It was a weird show, and like I felt like they focused more on the pandemic than I wanted to. Like they were focusing a lot on the triage, like, you know, showing you all these people. But like I like the comic because it focuses more on Yorick and just what he's going through as he's wandering America, you know, in this crazy world. And like, yeah, it's like if Walking Dead was focusing on like how the government was handling the pandemic as opposed to how Rick is handling it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see the government.
You don't want to see big picture.
Like,
you want little picture.
Yeah, I don't want big picture right away. And so like his mom was like the de facto president of the United States. And so we're constantly checking in with her, and you have to make sure you use her a lot because she's Diane Lane. And so you got to give her a lot to do. And I'm like, it's too much. It's too much of nobody wants to know the life and death choices that the government is making on behalf of the citizens during a fucking pandemic. No one wants to know that, especially right now. Like no one.
Yeah. So probably not.
It just hurt, you know, like it hurt. It made me sad because I love that comic a lot. So, oh well.
But, I don't, you know, but I was just talking about this with a friend of mine too. Like, just sit back and just realize like how much nerd entertainment is in store for us the back half of this year. It is crazy nice.
Yeah. DC Super Pets, man. Oh my god.
Oh, I can't wait.
Get pushed or no?
What's up?
Didn't I get pushed? Or that got moved up, right?
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
Who knows?
Kidding. I was kidding.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was kidding. I might watch it.
I know.
I might
I'm
watch
not
it.
gonna watch it.
I
I'm
might.
not going to. I'm not.
I might.
I'm just
I
not.
wonder what are
Wait, you saw Everything Everywhere All at Once, right?
I have not yet.
Oh shit!
I
You
might
haven't
see it
seen
tomorrow.
I'm scared to watch it.
Yeah, I might see it tomorrow.
What? Travis,
Yeah.
Everyone's hyped it up too much. I don't know if it'll live up to it.
get fucking high for that one. Oh man, it's like I've seen how people like have described it as the best
Multiverse.
the best MCU movie not in the MCU.
Mhm.
And I get that because actually when you get to the credits, it's like a ton of MCU people are responsible for that movie. Like the Russo brothers executive produced. It's got some of the same producers like and casting director as all the MCU movies and stuff. But like the thing that I love the most about that movie, aside from all the crazy, multiverse shit, is that movie let Michelle Yeoh do everything that she has in her toolbox. Every single thing that she could ever do is all in one movie.
Good enough.
And oh man, you gotta see that movie, dude.
All right, I'll probably see it tomorrow.
Amazing. Yeah, it's like it was like the only non-Marvel movie I had seen other than The Matrix for your birthday. That was it.
Okay.
In theaters, and that was Lindsay who wanted to see it. So like, I mean, I wanted to see it too, but like, she was like, "Can we go to the movies?" And I was like, "Well, since you never asked me in 2.5 years, absolutely." Like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's cool that she's finally in a place where she can go see these, but like, that's what bums me out more about Doctor Strange is it's like, it's hard. It's hard to get her to go see them. And so like, God damn it, they better be fucking good when I get her in the seat. And so when I see her getting grumpy and like yawning and like not caring about the story, I'm like, shit, God damn it, Marvel, make it better next time. Yeah.
So how excited or not excited are you about Obi-Wan though?
I'm excited. I haven't heard your take on this, Dennis.
I'm trying to. Okay, I'll say this. Like, well, less excited than Avatar, but I'm not. I'm not like super excited about Avatar, but I know that Avatar will be good. So like, I have time to get myself excited for Avatar. Right? That's like December. So I'm like,
you're gonna see it way before then. Trust me. Like, what I mean is, it's like it's one of those movies. You know what I'm saying? Where you're gonna get advertised.
Yeah.
Wazoo.
No, but I'm saying like I'll get excited for Avatar in due time. Mm-hmm. Whereas like Obi-Wan, we got like 3 weeks and I'm not there yet. And I think it's because like that Boba Fett was a bitter pill, man. It was bad. Like it was so bad, but there was like one really amazing Mando episode in that Boba Fett. And it's like, damn it. That Boba Fett episode that one Mando episode it was like everything I ever wanted in a Mando episode. And I was like, God damn it. And then they did another episode with Luke, and I was like,
Did you see that? Yeah, that was my status on Facebook at one point. Yeah, the best episode of Boba Fett didn't feature Boba Fett.
Yeah,
at all.
Yeah, no.
And the whole time, like you ever have these memories, and then like I had this memory and like superimposed on the memory of the bad, like was you laughing about Tamora Morrison, just and I'm like, damn it, Dennis, like when you're right, you're super right, I
was shitting on this on that character actor for so long, and then at some point, when we were watching Pam and Tommy, not for the show, but Ricky and I had been watching Pam and Tommy every week. And so we decided to celebrate the end of Pam and Tommy by watching Barbed Wire.
Oh, no.
And then I fucking found out that was Tamora Morrison's first American movie. I was like, no, he's so bad in that movie.
It's a double whammy.
He's always been bad, just always. He's never been good in anything.
Oh my god!
He's
But
he's so bad.
so I guess Obi-Wan.
It doesn't have
needs
Tamara
to,
Morrison in it.
It needs to be great.
I know, and that's the problem I have is that like the expectations. It's not that they're high; it's that we're afraid of how many more holes can go in the ship before it just
Yeah.
sinks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Well,
so,
yeah,
like,
you had the last or the Rise of Skywalker, right? And thank God Mando was
Mando
before and after that.
saved Star Wars
Yeah.
momentum in that moment in time, dude. Mando saved their ass hard. And so yeah, and then a season was it
We had the Bad Batch.
the Bad Batch came after season 2 of Mando, but you had Clone Wars in between that, and that was like, okay, I kind of love this. And when the Clone Wars season ended, I was like, oh man, this show finally did the thing and made me give a fucking shit about the prequels after 7 seasons. This is the prequel story that I wish we gotten in movies, but I'm fine with it. And so, yeah, they were building up the good faith. Then they did that Visions or Star Wars Visionaries or whatever. And I was like,
oh, the anime stuff. Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
They were just one-offs.
Well, it was a whole bunch of stuff that just didn't matter, though.
Yeah.
It was like, what if you have a Pokemon? You're like, shut up.
Because they spent up until that point telling you every piece of Star Wars content matters now. Like, right? Like, that was the whole point of the reboot thing. Yeah. So to have that come out, it was like, oh, okay, I guess it doesn't anymore.
Does this matter?
You know what? I was like, do the Japanese people even pay attention to the story of Star Wars? Like, I was like, have they heard of the rule of 2? Because they don't fucking give a shit about the rule of 2 in these stories right now. It was hurting my brain watching those.
Yeah,
I never finished them.
I just, yeah.
But so and then Bad Batch sucked. I didn't like Bad Batch. Like I kept waiting for it to get good, and I kept waiting for Omega to die so they wouldn't have to say her name anymore. But I was like, oh, we're just gonna keep this going. Okay, cool.
I thought Bad Batch was okay.
It started with all the potential in the world, and it never
really went anywhere. Right?
It was supposed to be the A team, and then it never was. It never was the A team.
Yeah.
And then
And then you got Boba Fett.
Owen has always been a good Obi-Wan, though, right?
I think
through it all, Obi-Wan's not. Yeah,
I think Ewan made me believe that Alec Guinness's character could have been that guy,
right?
Which is the best you could hope for in those prequels, but I don't know that he was actually good, but that's not his fault. That was the writing.
So so at least you have the Obi-Wan that Ricky recognizes.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that.
Yeah. But I'm saying,
and the Obi-Wan that we weren't mad at. Okay. All I'm saying is that so now we've got the opportunity to be a better actor. Because we don't better writing and a better director. Right?
Deborah Chow, right?
Yeah. And so now, because she did them all, please God, be good. Because there's things that they have to address here, right? That you always wanted to know. Like, what was the relationship between him and Uncle Owen? Like, how did he stay hidden? When he went off world, why did he go off world? So there's that. And ultimately, what that next battle do? Because come on, guys. I mean, let's really come on now. Come on.
And
Come on
ultimately,
now.
and
Come
ultimately,
on.
we need to learn why he was such a dick about telling Luke, "Oh yeah, I knew your father. He was a great pilot." And then Darth Vader killed him.
Killed
I'm like,
him.
you son of a bitch! You're such an asshole.
I just feel like of all the lightsaber battles in the history of lightsaber battles, this one needs to be the dopest. How can it not be?
I think
How can it not
we need
be?
another.
I
It
thought
needs to be on par with the Vader in Rogue One.
I'm not gonna lie, man.
The vicious Vader.
I thought Ahsoka versus Darth Maul
And
was
yeah, then the Clone Wars was dope.
the best one I've ever seen. That was
probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
obviously it's a bummer it was animated and you didn't get to see it with people, but like
yeah.
that was a well choreographed, well shot scene, man.
Well, actually, all of the ones that Blur did actually for video games are much better than any other ones in the movies. Like if you look at like some of the Old Republic lightsaber battles, they were insanely
The
good.
cinematics are pretty good.
Yeah, they're insanely good. That being the case, though, I mean, seriously, though, I mean, no other lightsaber battle has the right to be as good as round 2, Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader, and you know that Obi-Wan wins again against against Darth Vader.
I guess I just never really wanted a round 2 in between the two, but like
really.
Yeah, no, I like it.
You want to leave it at the high ground? Is that really how you want to leave it?
I like that the round 1 was so thoroughly lopsided.
So much of an ass whooping.
So thoroughly lopsided that like round 2 is like the ultimate show of growth in how far Vader's come in the dark side. Like Darth Vader also is really slow. I get that you want a round 2 because like round 3 is a really boring ass fight.
It
like,
is.
It's super
comparatively.
I mean, maybe it'll make sense
But
why he chose to I don't say chose to die in that moment, but
it wasn't a boring ass fight for me until the prequels came out. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, of course.
Like until the 1990s, I still love that fight. Like, it's still it still hit me in those feels like watching it every time. And it's only after Duel of the Fates just exploded jizz all over my face that I was like, okay, got it.
Well, they put it in the trailer for this one.
I got it. No, I meant the fight itself.
Oh,
not the song. The song. I meant like Ray Park, like cranking it up to 11, and just like, okay, Toad, this is amazing.
Do it.
Like,
do it.
Never mind. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, that's all I'm like. I need, I need that fight, and Ricky, like, I don't think it can ever be the Rogue One because that's not a fight. That was an annihilation. That was a slasher film.
But that made Vader
it was
a menace.
Well, the thing about it is no, don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
In Rogue One, in my opinion, is the second best Star Wars movie ever made. In my opinion,
mm-hmm. Rogue One's amazing.
Now that being said, that scene was exactly how I feel like it would go down. Like you are in a room with Jason Voorhees, and you are going to die. The only question is when, right? And it was
I wanted to feel that in Doctor Strange with Wanda at Kamar-Taj. I wanted to feel a lot more horror there. You know what I mean?
Would that be too much though?
I mean, she already killed them.
Yeah.
I know, but you know what I'm saying though? I know what you're saying, but it's like at the end of the day, like, they said, oh man, this is for the kids, man. Like,
I guess.
In regards to the Vader stuff, like it's I think it's back to like your Final Fantasy comment earlier. Like as a kid, you have this idea of what Vader is. what power he possesses. But when you go back and watch those movies, like, he's not like this.
What?
Yeah, you better watch your
He's
words
not-
here.
Yeah, what? Yeah, choose your next words carefully.
I don't see
He's
him as much of a
not-
threat
What?
physically,
What?
just by the limitations of what they could do back then.
No, no. Look, dude. You have to
He
understand
picked people
something.
up
You-
into
you
the
have to
air and
understand.
choked them to death.
No, you have to understand. Like, this dude was in a meeting and straight
Yeah.
up held up 2 fingers and choked the dude out
Yeah.
calmly.
I want to
Okay,
see
it said,
sword.
I
Use
find
the
your lack
sword.
of faith disturbing. Okay, how about this? In the second movie, he takes 6 shots to the hand. Okay, doesn't flinch, snatches the gun away from the assailant, and then calmly, coolly says, "Hey, bruh, why don't you sit down and have some dinner with us?"
Use the sword.
The sword is not the ultimate sign of power. The
No,
sword is the
but it
sword
looks
is the
cool.
weak. The sword is the
It
weakest
looks
part.
cool. I want them to fight with them.
You know what looks cool is when he starts throwing everything in the kitchen sink out at Luke.
Yeah.
Like he teleports everything. Like he just or not teleports, telekinetically
Yeah.
moves everything. Like that shit's cool. A sword is a stick, man.
dude,
It's
ain't
a shiny.
no-
It's a shiny stick, but like
Look, man, they go around hitting, like killing people with blasters. Like I said, Han shot him like 6 times, and he went
But
and,
know-
and ripped the gun from his hands and said, "Yo, son, have a seat." He wasn't even angry.
like
yeah.
in the Clone War in episode 2, I loved when Dooku fought Yoda.
I hate that.
Let's
I hate
see
that so
them
much.
throw
I
shit
hate-
at each other. Let's see them
I
fight
hate
each
it.
other.
I hate it so much. I hate
Let me-
CG Yoda so much.
I don't. The thing about it is they made it look comical to some degree, but I was thinking to myself, the last thing you ever want is a sentient bouncing ball of death, and that was, like, holy cow, like Yoda is like that Super Ball that bounces off of the wall, and if it comes near you, you're dead. Right.
Yeah.
And it was like,
Mhm.
that was, to me, that was terrifying. I was like, that whirling dervish of a, oh my God.
Like Yoda was speaking of fucking rhymes and riddles in the old movies. Not that they
No.
were not insightful, and not that they weren't. They helped Luke. They did help Luke.
Yoda spoke the same way in all the movies.
I know, but it put a fucking bite to like why, like, oh, this is why he was Master fucking Yoda. This dude will kick your ass if pushed to
No.
that point, and I really like that in episode 2.
No, him lifting an X-wing out of the swamp was why he's master. It's not master of lightsabers. It's master of the Force.
The one's more cinematic.
Yeah,
than
last Master of the Force. Well, see to me, now we're on dangerous ground. Now we're on dangerous ground, and I say that because you have to understand. Like, I saw The Empire Strikes Back in a movie theater named after a Confederate general, right? The Robert E. Lee movie theater. Okay.
You told the story
yeah.
on our old podcast.
Yeah. So
and Ricky
here's
said
this-
that same thing too.
Yeah. So here's this little dude who's like, "Yo, man, it's not about how little I am, right?" And that was the great thing about, that's the great thing about Yoda is it's like, you remember that part where he says, to I think it was to Sidious, he says, "Hey, Doc, if you're so powerful, like, why are you in a rush to leave?" And then he dropped this cane and said, "Now that we got that out of the way, you're like, oh, so you was just fronting with that cane, huh?" And he was like, "Yeah, let's go." Right. And so yeah, you can sleep on Yoda if you want to, but he will cancel you. And like I'm telling you, I mean, I love the fact that he's that small. But yeah, don't sleep on Yoda because he will, take it to you.
Yeah, I always got that. I got that without the need for the flashy lightsaber. I got it. I got it in Empire Strikes Back. How powerful that dude was, because one, Obi-Wan spoke to about him with reverence, and then two, like Luke was very humbled by that dude very quickly, and so I thought how awesome it was that they could do so much with so little, that they could make this little puppet make you wonder, just fill your brain with wonder about what can this puppet not do, but it was more fun in my brain than when I actually when I saw it in CG, you know what I mean? Only because the CG was a little questionable back then,
a little dated,
in those movies, it was dated even when it came out. It was I was like, it's a little weird. It's a little weird, actors weren't really comfortable working with green screen to that extent yet at that point. So that was a big ask for a lot of people on the projects. So just something, there's a lot of uncanny valley going on, a lot of weird stuff. And so I was like, no, I think it's better in my head, it was but I can respect that it was something that people always dreamed of seeing, and they got to see it. I just, I kind of thought in my head it would have been cooler if his lightsaber was normal size.
They size you up at the lightsaber store.
I just feel like it's so unfair that his lightsaber's so short. You know what I mean? It's can you imagine how?
Not me. I think that thing still is. It's still sharp as shit.
You need to be able to swing it before,
And my whole thing is that the fact that it's smaller is worse, in my opinion. Because it will get. He's gonna get in, and then he's gonna slice up it. Look, like I said, Yoda with a lightsaber is just terrifying as far as I'm concerned. But back to my original point, though, which is
Obi-Wan better be good.
Obi-Wan better be good. So, but we've got a lot of stuff this year, right?
Yeah.
You
know what else we have in 3 weeks? I think 3 weeks.
Top Gun.
The Boys.
Oh yes. Yeah. I was saying Top Gun because I'm looking forward to that too.
Yeah, what was funny is my YouTube was saying because they had the red carpet premiere for Doctor Strange, and then they were also red carpet premiere for Maverick, and I was like, wait, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Was Tom Cruise dumb enough to release on the same weekend? And then I found out, oh no, it's at the end of the month. Okay, I was like, there's no way at this point, legitimate movies are trying to there's no way legitimate movies are trying to release on the same weekend as Marvel movies anymore, as MCU movies. Sorry.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
It's just not happening anymore. They move their schedules to avoid those things. Yeah. So, but yeah, I gotta get Lindsay to watch. She's never seen Top Gun, and I've been meaning to get her to watch it. There's a lot of gaps in her.
You should make a day out of it. You go to the scenes, the locations, and watch the movie.
That movie is really gay.
It is. It's super gay. It's really gay.
And the thing about it is it's sort of like gay, like Village People gay, right? They're singing about YMCA, and you're like, yeah, it's a good song though, So Top Gun, I'm like, yeah, it's a gay movie. All right, it's dope though, it's
those,
we didn't know, this was Brokeback before Brokeback happened. You know what I'm saying? They're on the beach with oil on and all in your face, Iceman.
They're just constantly ignoring their women for their bromance.
Yes.
They love each other in that movie. It's hilarious.
That being said, though, it's a dope movie.
Yeah, I always think it's hilarious the lengths Tom Cruise will go to entertain you too. Like he
Right?
he demanded that he actually fly fighter pilots in that in
Yeah.
the new movie. I'm like, you're insane, man. Like you
What's-
like why do you
what's
keep
wrong with
forgetting
you?
that you're not
You're an
actually
actor.
these things? Yeah. The whole point of acting is so that you don't
So that you
actually
don't
have to do
have
the
to do.
real thing. Yeah. Like he's so
He likes to
insane.
push it to the extreme, and I can respect that. You know, like
Dude, he's insane. He's just crazy, man. He's a
I
crazy man.
I can respect it. I don't know if it's always so necessary.
if you can respect
Yeah.
the Jackie Chan doing all his stunts, I can respect the Tom Cruise doing all his.
Jackie Chan's stunts are not flying a plane. Like
He hangs off the side of a plane. Tom Cruise.
yes, but he's also wired.
Yeah.
Like he's connected by wires, and a trained pilot is responsible for flying that plane. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like it's weird.
I'm
to
not
me.
saying it's an even comparison, but there is some respect there. Like this dude wants to do his own shit. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not hating on him.
Mhm.
You know, I'm
It's
just saying, like, dude, like seriously, we'll be okay if you're not there.
Sure,
And
it's
it's like,
fucking
but see, here's the thing.
Geico is like, dude, fucking stop.
I think here's the line. Here's the line. When you equate a stunt to someone's actual profession, do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like when you call their profession a stunt, because is it a stunt that he is flying a plane, or is it him proving that he's just as good as that person who spent their whole life training to fly a plane? Do you know what I mean? Like there's a little bit too much ego involved sometimes when he does it. Like it to the point where it's just like calm down and let your special effects team do their damn jobs and get paid and be proud of the work they do. He's like depriving people of their fucking jobs and wasting people's time to go and learn like a skill that he doesn't need. He doesn't need that skill unless he's planning on surviving the apocalypse,
I think
which
he is.
probably.
do you? How much do you think that he puts extra butts in the seat?
Tom Cruise.
Hang on, because of that.
Yeah, he does.
Mhm.
He
Yeah.
does.
So I might wager that it's probably worth it.
Yeah. I loved his
Because they know that's him.
Do you remember his rant like 2 years ago
The
when
COVID
like
rant,
with the
yeah.
COVID rant? Oh man, that was so good. He was like he's basically he thinks he's president of Paramount sometimes. I swear to God, it's so funny.
He
dude.
makes him a
Like,
lot of
Yeah.
money.
yeah, he does. He
He
does.
might as well be.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Speaking of which, you know,
Halo.
uh,
I like that show, man.
okay.
I like it. I like all the I'm caught up. Wait, I didn't watch this.
But you're not familiar with the actual game's
I
story.
know,
and I think that's why it's better.
Well, so this week's episode I didn't hate as much, and I'm still trying to figure out whether or not I hate it or I really hate it. I'm not sure. Like, you know, and you know how you like you almost feel compelled to like watch something you hate. Like I don't, you know, it's almost like they said, "Hey, we got just enough money to make this look tacky."
I don't think it looks tacky.
I
think it's like one of the best looking things I've seen on my TV.
I love the blood. I love the gore. Because they are scary ass creatures, but I just don't like the. I don't think they're scaled properly, and I don't think they move like they move in the game.
They're not animated well.
Yeah, they're not.
You know, the CG is not.
Oh, I see. You're just talking about the aliens themselves. Like,
yeah,
when they get into like these hardcore, like big, you know, scale, you know, fights and stuff like that, I think it just could be better. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is
I like that there's barely been any fights in it, and I know that's like a hot take, but like I like watching all the story. Like it's like, okay, where are we going with this?
It's like Master Chief, put your
like in the games, Master Chief like fucking mows down. he never takes off his helmet, but he also mows down aliens. So to see him be more of a challenge for him is like a little weird, right? Like the Master Chief I know will just
it's like
smokes all these fucking aliens.
It's kind of like it's really weird watching Superman snap a dude's neck.
No, it's not the same.
It's not the same.
No, because one of those is entertaining and one is not.
And
the fact that you like Halo speaks volumes.
I like it. I've never played a single Halo game in my life.
It's not even. No, I've played at one Halo game, and I still don't like the show that much. No, what I was saying is, okay, so there's Brave New Worlds. The premiere episode just came out.
Oh, it did? Okay.
Yes.
Because so Lindsay and I we don't like Paramount app enough to constantly pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're on a month trial right now. So we're binging about a year's worth of stuff. So we're not done with Discovery yet. And then once we finish Discovery, we have to do the newest season of Picard, and then we're gonna start Brave New Worlds. I didn't like season 1 of Picard. I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it. And I'll tell you this, like 2020, Ricky, or was it 2021 that Lindsay and I were massively binging The Next Generation?
2020.
It was either 2020 or into last year. So we got about 6 seasons deep of like constant Next Generation, because it was one of those times where we reached the end of the internet and we're like, let's go back and rewatch this show. And fuck, that show's so good still by today's standards.
Yeah, dude.
It's so good. You don't understand. Like I
do.
I'm saying I never rewatched it since I watched it as a kid.
DS9 is still better, but
oh yeah, it is. DS9 is still better.
Yeah.
And like that's why I'm super excited to get there, because I remember as a kid thinking DS9 was better. But because as a kid I always told myself DS9 was better, I think I kind of like demoted Next Gen. Down. And then rewatching it, I'm like, this is a fantastic show.
Yes, sir.
And so so much social awareness back then that it really makes me weirded out, like how sloppy they are with Discovery sometimes. Like
sloppy how?
Like Discovery, because in Next Gen, like conversations like about like pronouns and shit come up in Next Gen in 1990.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? That's so progressive. That's amazing. Like Captain Picard got called out on I think referring to Data as an it or something like that, or whatever, really quick. And Data just corrected him, and he's like, my apologies. And it was like, that conversation was so fast, nipped in the bud, and then he just understood and respected Data forever, And I was like, wow, that's impressive. And then I watch like Discovery, and it's just weird to me because they had to have a really, really long like conversation about pronouns in that one, and I'm like, somehow it feels like at some point you guys should be learning this is just like, how far in the future are you guys? Like, I mean, how are we still having this conversation?
Because we still have to have this conversation in our reality, right? Like, you got to hammer back in these points.
No, but that's the point I'm saying is it's like, I guess it's because in Discovery, it's two humans having that conversation with each other. Whereas in Next Generation, it's a human having this conversation with an android life that's never existed. It's one of a kind at that time in this universe, right? Never existed. Like, so he's a special thing. But like in Discovery, it's a gay man having this conversation with a non-binary person, and the non-binary makes it a point of defining their pronouns. And I understand I understand for the viewers why it's important, but it kind of weirded me out that it's like, I think you're wrong, Ricky, in that like the whole point of Gene Roddenberry's vision of Star Trek is that humanity figured out their shit eventually and worked together to form Starfleet and form a federation and go out, and now we're past the point where we're having those kind of stupid infights with ourselves, and now we're having them with other aliens and stuff because they have ideologies that are different. You know what I
No,
mean?
well, I do, but I do and I don't. I mean, education happens on an individual level.
Yeah.
And just because society has gotten to that point doesn't mean every individual has, and so
Yeah,
I
but
don't think there's any.
two people on Starfleet, I just feel like, what are you? You're both main characters, or I mean, you're important characters on the show. Like, I get that the
Yeah, but see,
importance.
like ignorance is always like this thing that people just can't square themselves
Yeah,
with
that's
as
fair.
as viewers, right? Even though we do dumb shit, ignorant shit ourselves every day, all the time, it's like that's not good for you. Yeah, I'm gonna do it anyway. Like who's watching your show? Going,
Yeah.
really, Dennis, again today? Really, again?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of weird moments that just feel backwards in Discovery for how far we've come on
Yeah,
the
but
show.
but they're addressing it, right? And enough to, because I think it's also important. It's also important to have those messages, right? And
Yeah.
and it doesn't, because at the end of the day, it's us dumbass humans who are hearing this message in
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
way, shape, or form.
Like,
So,
But what I'm saying is,
you
I
know,
think I like these messages more when they use other alien life at like more ignorant aliens or more advanced aliens, or you know what I mean? Like they
I do, but
establish
I don't. Like
like
it's not the aliens I need to worry about. It's
yeah,
yeah, that's
y'all.
like
that's fair, but like
like I
that's
have
how
I haven't seen the scene you're referencing, but like,
Star
is
Trek's
that
always been a social commentary
mhm,
through this veiled lens of like
mhm.
aliens, like and
Yeah.
first contact and things like that. And so I
Is
don't
that
know.
scene though? Does that show like a positive discussion on? You said they're arguing right on the proper
No,
use.
no. It is a positive interaction. You know what
Like,
I mean? Like,
it's a very, I think, just even showing that it's okay to ask these things in a very respectful way. I think that's a good thing to show. You want to show
yeah,
people like it's okay to ask questions.
no,
It's
but
just don't be a dick about it.
I think the problem I had with it is that so basically a senior officer had referred to his other officer as she,
Mhm.
and then after the meeting was over, she comes up to him and she's really mousy and she's like, "I prefer they," and he's like, "What?" It's like, "Earlier you called me she, and I prefer they and them," and I just I think I don't really identify. I don't feel like comfortable being she, and like she's explaining it and everything, or they're explaining it, and then he's like, "Oh, okay," and so I just felt like, one, I would hope that someone in Starfleet would be more confident, like at that in 30. I mean, we're talking about like they're like 1,000 years in the future, like past next generation. They're like way past next generation.
Go on.
Yeah, way past it.
Go on.
Like, this is just my beef with it. You don't have to agree with me. You know what I
No,
mean?
I'm
Like,
just saying, like, being black,
I
like you've
know,
been dealing with this
I'm
for
not.
centuries.
I'm not gonna win that argument with you, but I'm saying like I felt like it would be nice to know that people in Starfleet can have an idealized version of how these interactions would
You would
go.
think that would be in their
Well,
basic training.
asked and
Yes,
answered though.
yes,
No, but what I'm
yes.
saying is asked and answered though, right? Like, I prefer this. Okay. It
Yeah,
wasn't like get out of here.
but it
Get
was
out
the
of
way
Get
here.
out of here.
but it was the way
Get they out of here.
it was the way the conversation was broached, was just like, you feel like you seem nervous doing this, and like I don't know.
Hmm.
I like
No.
to me it was just a weird scene like that, and I was just like, I get the value of having these scenes, but I think if Data and Picard did this scene better in 1990, like I just feel like in general Star Trek doesn't feel as cleverly written as it was in 1990. Like that's my overall assessment of Star Trek.
Well, I would assert that it's a different target audience now too, though.
That's fair. That's fair.
And at the end of the day, it is TV show, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah. I'm
know,
just afraid that the target audience is dumber now than they were then.
You're probably not wrong. Look at me.
Oh man.
and yeah, this is the time where you weep for your future. Yeah, it is. What are you gonna
Oh man.
do? You know,
That
it,
sucks.
yeah.
We went down. We went backwards.
But I like Discovery. I really, really
I do
like
too.
Discovery.
I do. I don't like a lot of the characters on it, but I do like, who I
Wow.
like? I love Saru. I love Saru because it's so refreshing to watch a captain that's learning how to be a better person. You know what I mean? Like
You're not up to date, are you?
no, I'm on season 3. I'm on season
Okay.
3.
Okay.
I really enjoy Saru. He's my favorite character through the whole show. I actually really actively hate Michael Burnham. I can't stand Michael Burnham. Just the idea that they just had to shoehorn her into being Spock's sister. I was just like, God damn it, guys. Let Spock go. Just leave him alone, man. Let poor Leonard Nimoy rest in peace. I'm just so tired of them leaning so hard on Spock all the time. It just hurts. It hurts me. But like it, and like also I just feel like Michael Burnham just doesn't. She's kind of she reminds me of Rey a little bit from Star Wars. She's kind of a Mary Sue sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, but she can do what she needs to do at any given moment, and she's always the right person for the job, even though like I don't know. I like something about her feels like undefined.
Name a captain of a frontline like Starfleet vessel that isn't a Mary Sue, quote unquote. That is the job description of a captain.
Riker. Riker fucks up so hard, so much, man. It's awesome.
Well, when he's number 2, not when he's captain though.
Well, we don't really get to see him a lot as captain, unless you watch the Lower Decks. Have you watched that show?
Yeah, I watched the show.
Oh man,
yeah, it's a good show.
That show is amazing. I feel like that one's for me because that one, all it does all day long is make references to Next Generation. Like that's like the whole point of that show is to remind like 40-year-old people about like inside jokes in Next Gen. And it's pretty hilarious. So
it's not entirely inaccurate.
Yeah.
I
like to jack off my nasty little dick to Next Generation and Deep Space Nine. That's what I do. God. So
on that, I am out of here. I'm gonna end it on that.
I'm cool with ending it on that. I'm fine with it. Thanks for hanging out with us, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. You really don't have to watch Fantastic Four with us in 2 weeks if you don't want to.
No. Don't do it.
That'd probably be a fate worse than death.
We like to save you for the big ones, the big events. So
okay.
If we don't have anybody on deck for Thor, you're more than welcome to fill that spot again.
All right.
But I promise you, Lindsay will be down to talk about Thor because she loves that.
7th, right?
She loves her some Taika.
Of course.
She actually said after watching Doctor Strange that she's like, can we just have no more white men in charge of any Marvel movies and just make Taika do all of them? And I was
Feige is the white man I want.
He's got to do a Star Wars movie.
She meant directing. She meant the directors. She only wants Taika to direct Marvel movies from now on. That's it. That's all she wants. And I was like, what about James Gunn? She's like, no, just from now on, just Taika. Just Taika, please.
Damn.
Taika makes her feel good like nobody else does. So
Hey man, all I need in my life right now is this next Black Panther movie to be dope. That's all I need.
I don't. That's a big ask right now.
Why? It's
Yeah.
Coogler. He's always delivered.
Yeah, he hasn't. That
times.
guy
Three
has struck
times.
gold three times.
Huh?
With
He's always
times.
delivered. He's always
Yeah.
delivered.
Black Panthers.
All 3 times.
If anyone can do it, but he has the deck is stacked on him.
Why?
I mean, you're out of your Black Panther, which is fine. They're gonna figure out a way to get it, but then I feel like the Shuri situation is gonna come back and bite them.
Why? Because she doesn't want to be vaccinated?
I think that caused bigger problems, and I don't know if her stock went up or down. Or
that doesn't mean she's any. Look, you could be cuckoo and be a great actor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man!
As a matter of fact, it's a prerequisite.
You guys just reminded me of something that I totally forgot to mention about Moon Knight because you just made me think of Letitia Wright.
Mm-hmm.
Shit! If you'll let me after you're done, let me say it.
Just one other thing that I want to, if you got Paramount, and maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't.
Snake Eyes? No, terrible.
No,
terrible.
No, the Offer.
Oh, okay, I haven't seen that one.
It's it's basically the dramatization of how The Godfather got made.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And so it's only one
Miles Teller, right?
One season. Yeah.
Okay.
Consider it. All right, go ahead.
So to have, I was just finished. To have Letitia Wright be a prominent figure in that movie, and that's coming out in December, when when the chances of shit going down are exponentially increased.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a good recipe right there.
So fair enough. I like we'll see what happens with that. But like I want to believe Black Panther 2 will be great. I'm scared of what it is without Black Panther. You know what I mean? Like I'm scared of that. I am scared of that. I just know how he was the heart and soul of that movie in so many ways. I do love all the women in that movie too. So we'll see what they can do. No. I'm not discounting the movie. I just feel like God, are we ready? Are we ready for it when it comes?
Mm-hmm. But answer this question though, seriously. As a learned movie viewer, what tips the scale more in your opinion? The actor or the director?
I mean, yeah, the director for sure.
See it the movies then.
I'm not gonna not see it.
Oh, obviously. I know, but what I'm saying is like I look,
mm-hmm.
Chadwick was the shit. Okay. But part of being a dope ass director and having a dope ass script and having a dope ass casting director is knowing what you have to do in order to get back to that place.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think they can do it. And I think that the fact that they really haven't recast Black Panther, which I think they should have done. Yeah. Because the role is bigger than one person.
Yeah.
If he feels like if Coogler feels like he can do this, the way that he's doing it, I feel like because Black Panther is probably my number one superhero movie of all time. I have to say, hey dog, it's your play and see what happens.
Those rhinos are awful. They just look awful. Those rhinos look terrible every time. I love the movie except for the rhinos. God damn it, the rhinos suck so bad. But here, no, I just had one more observation about Moon Knight.
Get you a rhino for Christmas.
That was my one of my favorite things in hindsight about Moon Knight. I actually woke up this morning thinking about it, and you reminded me about it because of Letitia Wright. I just recently watched Death on the Nile.
Mm-hmm. Was it good?
It's okay. It's okay. But and I understand fully that it's based on an old Agatha Christie book, right? Like I get that. I've read Agatha Christie back in like high school and stuff like that. It's all dated, very dated, and like So they definitely try to update certain things. They try to have some twists in there and turns, like, and they try to have a very nice, diverse cast of people in there. But at the end of the day, it's this story that's taking place in Egypt, on the Nile, written by an old white lady who has her very, very specific ideas of what an adventure
Yes.
in Egypt is, right?
Yes.
And it made me realize, like, when I was thinking about Moon Knight, because I know we've talked about it before, Ricky, and like how, like, it was really cool to see Cairo in this show throughout the season, because like you never really get to see Cairo. Like in
Right.
most stories, it's always pyramids, Sphinx. Here's a transformer climbing on top of the
you don't
pyramid.
really get to
You know
see
what I
the
mean?
relation of
Like
Cairo
yeah,
is right. Cairo
Western
is where the pyramid is.
Western audiences are never subjected to anything more than a bunch of tropes and cliches when it comes to Egypt. And I thought it was really funny, like, or really cool how many of those tropes were not in Moon Knight. And I started asking Lindsay, I was like, was there a sandstorm ever in Moon Knight? Because I swear to God, every single thing I've ever seen takes place in Egypt, the protagonists get swarmed by a sandstorm. And I was like, there was never a sandstorm. Were they ever like attacked by a pit of snakes? Like there's so many weird, stupid tropes, and I'm like, that shit's racist, man. Like it's really weird. Like, and not, I mean, sandstorms aren't racist, but you know what I mean? Like, I guess ignorant, coming from a place of ignorance. And the more and more I thought about it, the more and more Death on the Nile checked every fucking box. Like I'm just like, yeah, you just like, it's just perpetuating these stereotypes of what Egypt is. And bravo to Moon Knight for completely doing the opposite. I mean, obviously, pyramids, really big part of Cairo. Like nobody's arguing that the pyramids are a really big standout part of that skyline for sure. So, and the pyramids play an important part in the story, but like outside of those pyramids, they were showing a really cool and socially conscious version of Egypt, and I really appreciated that about that show. And no sandstorms, and no scarabs, other than the scarlet scarab.
I have enough people.
There were no scimitars, right?
I have enough people in my orbit though saying that there weren't enough melanin in that Cairo.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's fair. Yeah. So I was just like, yeah, I get it.
Baby steps.
You try. Yeah, you try.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen,
some in similar circles mentioned during the what's the Jewish funeral scene at the
Shiva?
The Shiva. He's like, man, like there's like every version of a Jewish person in that scene. Like they just took one of each and like sprinkled it.
Like, sometimes you gotta do it. You know what I mean? Like you gotta, yeah. I feel yeah. There's now I think about it. There's a lot of light brown throughout it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, yeah, baby steps, I suppose. But I like not like after watching Death on the Nile, I was like, I feel like I've seen all of these things every single time. And back when like it was like, the Mummy, everybody's just like, hell yeah, that's Egypt. You know what I mean? Like, but like
that's why I don't pay to see slavery movies.
That's fair.
You know what I'm saying? I'm
like,
yeah,
they're going to show you the same thing every time.
Yeah, exactly. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah,
got it.
So I'm just happy we finally got to see something in Egypt that didn't have all of the check boxes that I'm used to seeing. Like, and you'll have your own mental list, and you'll realize, like,
I mean, there's kind of a sandstorm in the afterworld scene, right? When they're going to Osiris's door, right? There's a big thing of sand.
Just to be clear, that's not actual Egypt at that point.
That's the land of the dead.
That's the land of the dead, bro. Like,
they can have sandstorms. I know.
Well, they didn't have a sandstorm in that, but you're reaching a bit. But like I like I forgive the magical realm for doing whatever the hell they want. I'm just saying, actual fucking real life, Cairo, Egypt. Let's not let's show a little bit more of of culture instead of sand and scarabs and snakes and shit and
And that
scorpions.
dun 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 dun
Yeah,
dun 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 dun
yeah.
dun dun. Yeah, okay.
There
Yeah,
were no scorpions, no scimitars. I gotta say, what the hell with the chitter zombie thing? Like that, we're not getting any explanation on that.
We had to have a mummy.
That thing's just there. He may or may not be
Yeah,
dead.
Blade forgot to
Who
take care of
knows?
it, so he's
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, that was all I wanted to add. I don't know
All
if
right.
that enhanced your experience of Moon Knight at all, or made you more upset at the lack of melanin. But Travis is gonna go watch some Legion.
I am.
And then if you get a chance, also check out the Outer Range on Prime. That one's pretty good too.
I saw it's completed now, first season.
Oh, is it? I only have one episode left. Damn it.
Oh, there was an ad, so yes.
All
episodes out now is what I saw.
Do you know what that one is about?
I haven't watched any of it.
Travis?
Oh.
Rancher on Wyoming, played by Josh Brolin. He discovers a giant time hole on his pasture. It's a fucking time travel show with a rancher in Wyoming. It's pretty out there, which is why it's called the Outer Range.
All right, Thanos.
It's it's really funny because there's like a scene where he takes this rock and he crushes it to reveal the secret hidden power inside of it. And I was like, Josh Brolin, are you typecast now, bro? Is that just what you do? Like,
just go around looking for gems.
They're like, we need a guy to crush a rock and reveal the secret time travel power inside of it. He's like, I'm your guy, man. I'm your fucking guy.
Here's something that's funny. And I swear I have to go after this, but it's pretty good. You ever watch I think it's Snatched. You ever see that movie, Snatched?
With Brad Pitt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's just Snatch, right?
Snatch, yeah.
Snatch. Okay. So if you remember homeboy, what's his name? Play Finster on oh my god. He was a collector.
Oh, the collector Benicio del Toro.
Yeah, Benicio del Toro.
Yeah.
So go watch Snatch at the beginning when they're pulling off the heist.
Yeah.
And he goes over to the guy and he says, "Give us the stone." Right? Give us the stone.
Yeah.
Right? And it's this gem that they're after in Snatch, right? Okay. Go back and watch Josh Brolin when he has Benicio del Toro and he says, "Give me the stone."
Oh, that's pretty funny.
I'm convinced that's not an accident.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Samuel L's like Tombstone in Civil War, right? Or not Civil War, Winter Soldier.
Yep.
Winter Soldier. It's pretty silly. Yeah. No, they do that stuff for fun. They do that stuff for fun, but yeah, it's a weird meta thing when you watch Josh Brolin breaking stones in another universe and then getting superpowers and watch the Outer Range, dude. It's pretty cool. I don't know.
What am I watching first though?
The Outer Range is way shorter. It's way shorter. It's only 8 episodes. So watch the Outer Range and then watch Legion. Or
all right.
Or if your lady's gone all weekend long, just fucking binge Legion hard. You and Pixel just trip out. Dude, Legion gets trippy. Like,
okay.
To the point where you're just like, there will be times where you're gonna get angry at me. And you're gonna be like, why am I watching this? And I'm like, you're not being patient.
First of all, that's my secret.
You're always angry at me.
Good night, fellas.
All right. Good night, guys.
Sleep
Bye-bye.
tight, guys.
All right,
See ya.
bye.
I gotta do
Do
the
the
outro,
thing.
right?
Yeah, you got.